lovely listeners, and welcome to the Smoothest Sailing Horror Movie Podcast hosted by me, Michael McDonald. Here's my co-host, it's also me, Michael McDonald. Hey, it's us, Michael McDonald. We're singing in your ears. We're gonna tell you about the podcast with a Michael McDonald.
Why can't everybody do a Michael McDonald person?
So easy.
Everybody can. Even if you think you can't.
Small children can.
Guess what? Yeah, you can. You can.
Yeah, his voice exists within us all.
Hey, yeah, he's what ties us together. He's what binds the universe together.
He's Lilu. He's love.
Oh, that's right. He's the fifth element. What if the fifth element was Michael McDonald?
What if instead of that stupid
oh
scene,
man, if it was
Michael McDonald?
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Somebody please make that. Just dub that with... I want to know what Michael McDonald coming sounds like.
This entire episode is going to be Michael
it's just
McDonald.
going to be covered in it.
Yeah.
I've been working up a yacht rock set to play with Smooth Sailor. I got a couple Smooth Sailor shows this month playing with Knoxville's hottest yacht rock cover band.
Yeah.
So my ears have just been being caressed by the dulcet, silky tones of one Michael McDonald here. Well, dude, the thing is like, he is Mr. Yacht Rock. Yeah. People don't even know. It's like, other than, obviously, his illustrious solo career, I keep forgetting I'm in love anymore. He's also on all those Doobie Brothers songs.
Yeah. I mean, but I think of Steve Winwood as the king of yacht rock.
He's great. But, you know, Michael McDonald's also back there singing backup vocals on a ton of other people's yacht rock songs.
That's true.
You know Run Like the Wind by Christopher Cross?
Oh.
That's him on backup. And you can tell it. It's so obvious when he does that. And I got such a long way to go. Then he goes, such a long way to go. It's like, oh, that's McDonald. He also sang a bunch of Steely Dan stuff.
This episode is a Michael McDonald exclusive.
Yeah, exactly. Brought to you by Michael McDonald. Why? It's your absolute favorite horror movie review podcast, Dead and Lovely listeners. It's Dead and Lovely, hosted by the hostess with the mostest. Why, it's me, your good friend, Uncle Ben.
And me, Hollywood Steve. Wow. I've become Christian.
Oh, wow. You're born again?
Yeah, just figured it'd be fun.
Dude, you did it.
Yeah.
How's it so far?
Sucks.
Yeah.
I'm giving up on it. Hollywood Steve, back at you.
Hollywood Steve
Hollywood
is back
Babylon.
Hollywood Babylon. Right on, man. I'm thinking about changing my name to my pirate name based on my seemingly unending affliction of chest cold.
Yeah.
I'm gonna change my name to Rattle Chest Eller.
Rattle Chest.
Yeah.
Well, you are trying to get into rum more.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I haven't getting kind of piratey here lately. I've been trying to get into the world of
Rattle Chest.
dark rum. It's pretty good to me so far.
Rattle Chest, scrub the neck.
I've just got it now where like everything's just kind of sitting up top, rattling around when I breathe deep or cough or anything. It's just terrible. I'm gonna try not to cough all over y'all on this podcast.
I have been surprisingly healthy.
You've been good?
Throughout the spring. Yeah, I didn't really ever have much of a sinus issue.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, and now we're coming into summer, and I guess by the time this episode comes out, summer, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
that's right. And we're reporting for week 2 of Camp Dead and Lovely.
Yeah. Now, I want you boys to stay out of the girls' camps, okay now?
None of them panty raids.
No panty raids.
And ladies, keep away from them jock raids.
Yeah, don't be raiding jocks.
And everybody be sure to steer clear of the robot encampment. Don't be doing any of them gear runs.
Oh, man. Everybody's always trying to get robot gears.
The
just
worst
show
is
off to their friends.
They steal their grease.
And
then their joints all lock up.
Yep.
Yeah. They can't participate in any of the fun activities.
At robot camp.
Yeah. It's pretty rough stuff. How you been this week, Steve?
I've been good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Been having just a pretty good, productive week. Been getting a lot of stuff done for the show. Also working on a video series, trying to adapt my lessons on the undead into something entertaining. So hopefully we'll have up something soon.
I like it.
I'm going to be learning a good bit because I'm going to be shooting a lot of this, or all of this, on my own.
Yeah.
And
like a big boy.
You're
a big old strong boy.
I'm a big strong boy. I can pick things up. I can throw things. I can get angry.
You can choose your clothes, choose your outfit for the day.
Sure,
no problem.
I do that, right.
Effortless.
My wife doesn't lay it out for me.
No. Of course not. No, you're a big boy.
I'm a big boy.
Yeah. That's pretty cool stuff, man. I look forward to seeing what you come up with.
Yeah, me too.
You been watching anything good?
Man, I've been watching all sorts of things good.
Yeah? What you been seeing?
I started The Terror.
which is an AMC show. Yeah, it's about an expedition through the North Pole trying to find a quicker route from Europe to America, I guess.
Okay, so this is assuming that the Earth is round, so
right.
A work of fiction is what you're saying.
Right.
Clearly
Obviously.
not based on reality.
Certainly, because,
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it's surprisingly really good, like slow burn horror that it's easy to get into.
So
for sure.
Kate's sister read the book.
Yeah.
And she said it was utterly terrifying. This is like a couple of years ago before
I bet you
it was ever
the
adapted.
book would get you a good bit better, because books are real good at building that slow burn sort of terror.
I just have a hard time imagining how this is going to be scary. It's like guys on a boat.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're guys on a boat, so they're talking about landlubbers, of course. Like, oh, we hate them. They love the land. No, they just get stuck in the ice, and they're stuck there for a very long time.
Is there any kind of haints or boogers or
there's
spirits?
haints and boogers.
Oh, look out. Haints and boogers?
Haints and boogers.
Oh, you don't want no part of that.
Yeah, I don't want to say too much about it, because I think it's good to just go into it with not knowing, but I'll tell you. It's got Jared Harris. It's got some people from Game of Thrones. Worth a watch.
All right.
And it's on Hulu now. First season's on Hulu.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I thought it was on like AMC or something like that.
Yeah, it was. That's why I hadn't seen it up till now, but I had heard good stuff, so I checked it
I
out.
want to see that.
Check something else out that I would say is basically horror. Chernobyl.
I have been dying to watch this. Like ever since, Thrones ended, it's like, well, what are Sundays for?
Chernobyl
is the thing.
Well,
huh?
but it's over now. It's just a 6. I don't know if they're having a second season. I don't know why they would.
Yeah, what would it be about? Dude, I would love if they did a second season. It was all about zombies and mutants. Just like pick up the untrue
we find
story
out that
of Chernobyl.
Diaries was actually true events.
Yeah, based on a true story.
And not just a shitty movie.
So is it just a recounting of all the shit that happened leading up to the Chernobyl incident?
And it's both frightening and infuriating and relevant to our own current political climate.
Okay.
Strange.
I've heard that it's awesome. Like, I've not talked to anybody that hasn't just been nuts about it.
Yeah. It's great.
Awesome.
Jared Harris is also in that. And I would say, there's a similar sort of feel to Chernobyl and The Terror.
He's a busy boy.
He is a busy boy. Yeah.
Very busy. He's a big boy, too.
It's true.
A grown man.
He's a grown-ass man. I also went ahead and watched Bad Times at the El Royale.
You mentioned this, and I cannot remember what this is. Bad Times at El Royale.
The advertising campaign for it was kind of bad, and it sort of bombed in the box office. Okay. But worth a watch. It's on HBO, and it's got Chris Hemsworth, Dakota Johnson,
handsome
John
four.
Hamm, the dude himself.
Oh, the dude's in it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Holy shit. Pretty stacked cast.
It is. It's a stacked cast. It's it reminded me of like a mid-90s crime sort of thing.
Okay. Like a Reservoir Dogs kind of thing.
It's also got a sort of Pulp Fiction style of storytelling.
I'm very on board with that.
Yeah, so we get some like flashes back, and we get to learn more about our characters and stuff. It's pretty cool. I liked it. 2 hours and 20 minutes seems a bit
big
long,
movie,
but it actually moved really fast. I was surprised.
All right, that sounds definitely worth checking out.
Yeah.
Before we started this podcast, we watched the trailer for the upcoming Jim Jarmusch zombie movie, The Dead Don't Die. Is that right?
By the time this comes out, it'll be coming. The Dead Don't Die comes out the week that this comes out, so June 14th.
I think it looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, and I hope we get the opportunity to do a mini-sode on it, because it looks great. Cast is amazing. I'm really interested in that, because the trailer looks just fun and weird. Yeah, but you know it's gonna get dark.
That's the thing, is like when I read the cast and stuff, I was super excited. Then I was like, oh yeah, it's Jim Jarmusch. Like, have you seen that Jim Jarmusch vampire movie, The Last Lovers Left Alive, or something like that? It's okay. It's all right.
That's what I heard. That's why I haven't rushed out to watch it.
Yeah, it's like very melodramatic and very kind of like emo and stuff. Yeah. So I remembered that, and I was like, well, I did see what happened when he did a vampire movie. But I think this looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks fun. Like Tilda Swinton with a samurai sword.
Count me in.
Yeah,
I am.
It's
way
just doing
on
a weird ass accent.
Yeah,
like, it's like Irish or Welsh, maybe. Yeah,
I have no idea what's going on with it, but I can't wait to find out. Plus, it's got a Bill Murray.
Yeah, and Adam Driver, who so good at comedy. Did you ever see what's that? The one Lucky NASCAR.
Logan Lucky is awesome.
Yeah, he was
Holy
great
shit.
in that.
He did a great Southern accent.
He did.
Everybody in that movie did a great job being Southern. It was great.
Daniel Craig, surprising. I mean, that's not surprising. It's Southern and some British accents.
Yeah,
pretty similar.
I've always really wanted to see Minnie Driver or Adam Driver go the way of David Arquette and just randomly get into professional wrestling later in the career, and their signature moves be like the Minnie Driver.
The Minnie Driver. I would love that.
Yeah.
If Minnie Driver.
That was her signature. That's her knockout move, is the Minnie Driver. And I picture it as being like a pile driver with just a very small hop.
Yeah, just a tiny little hop.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're not going full, like, not going from standing up to landing on your butt pile driver.
Or maybe it's one of those,
on the knees or something.
Maybe it's one of those lazy pile drivers that Cactus Jack used to do, where you just
got to fall back.
Just kind of fall back.
Yeah, stuff their head in your crotch and fall back. Yeah, he would do himself a lazy old pile driver back in the day. For some reason, the other morning, I woke up and I was like, man, it's been a long time since I saw that Sabu Terry Funk barbed wire match.
Oh my God.
Yeah. There's a horrible rip of it on YouTube. It's like TV quality. It's so bad.
That's such a great match,
dude. I started it and it got about to that part where Sabu jumps on the barbed wire and literally rips his bicep open.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got things I should be doing rather than watching this. I started to like feel kind of bad.
I gotcha.
Oh my God. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable. And
those
crowd,
dudes were
dude.
insane.
Like, the crowd wanted those two to murder each other.
Oh, yeah.
And Sabu got his bicep ripped open.
Yeah.
And he's trying to tape it together so he can keep going with the match.
He did the same when he broke his jaw. He kept going with the match.
Yeah.
Like,
and meanwhile, Terry Funk is like smashing him in the head with a damn chair while he's trying to tape his bicep.
Yeah. It was genius.
Unreal.
Such a great performance.
Sabu is the most underrated wrestler like ever, in my opinion. I fucking love some Sabu. Yeah, I don't know what made me think of watching that.
Awesomeness.
Yeah, because I like things that are nice. Yeah, I like nice things. So I watched a couple things this week. I watched You Will Always Be My Maybe on the Netflix, which...
a Hallmark movie, right?
It sounds like it would be a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
So it's a new Netflix movie, and it was written by Asian comedian chick whose name I cannot remember right now.
Wong.
There you go. Yeah. That's the one. I was just testing you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was doing it that way, not because I forgot her name. And it's just a good old romantic comedy. And, it's one of those things where sometimes, especially when things have been kind of shit like they have here lately for us, sometimes it's nice just to have those, like, I like to watch something where I don't really have to think, and it's just a simple story that's amusing and easy to watch.
Yeah.
Perfect for that.
Okay.
It was good, man. It's it was a romantic comedy that never really played into any, like, super crappy gender stereotypes or like race stereotypes or anything like that.
But still, somebody at about the end of the second act got pissed off about something.
Yeah. And you think they're not going to end up together. Right? Yeah. Spoilers. They do get back together.
Spoilers for every romantic comedy.
Yeah. If you've ever seen one, it's kind of like that. It runs about like that.
Spoilers for those guys who write romantic comedies where they think I'm going to trick them. You're not tricking anybody.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
No, it's never tricked anyone.
And we watched the Bash Brothers Experience on Netflix, which is the Lonely Island's 30-minute long... It's essentially just a collage of different music videos that roughly follow a story about Jose Canseco and Martin McGuire.
Yeah.
It makes zero sense.
I don't even care.
None whatsoever. Yeah. It is
Those
ridiculous.
Guys are great. They co-starred with me in Popstar.
That's true. Yeah, your movie that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you can see my back, so
that's the best part of the movie.
It's all you need to see.
Hey, that's my favorite view of you. I'll let you go just so I can watch you walk away, Steve.
I thought about this the other day, and I thought if I ever met Andy Samberg, I would start talking about how I was in Popstar, and then if he started talking about it, I'd be like, "Oh, you were in that movie too?"
Yeah,
like
that would
big
be
time
smooth.
him,
That'd
really Hollywood him.
Yeah, I didn't notice you there.
I didn't notice you. Huh. That's weird.
Yeah, the camera was on.
You were the
me.
guy with all
distracted.
the spotlights, and they kept stopping, and you would stop, and then they would start again, and you would start.
Yeah.
And I would just stand there.
Right.
In a crowd.
Yeah. I think that he would think that was hilarious is the thing. I think that would actually work pretty well. It makes no sense.
I bet, yeah. I wanted to start watching it the other night, but Emily She like because she loves Andy Samberg. He's like one of her favorites, and she loved the 7 Days in Hell, which was the tennis thing they did with him and Kit Harington,
right?
And then the one that's about
bicycling
doping and cycling that is hilarious and has so many funny people in it, including John Cena and his gigantic self looking insanely funny on a bike.
Awesome.
Like you just never think about somebody like John Cena or The Rock getting on a bike.
Yeah, doing something normal. Dude, the funniest to me, like really jacked guitar players.
Yeah,
I just think look hilarious, or drummers, or anybody. It just always looks so weird to me. You remember that band Nitro, 80s hair metal band Nitro?
Yes.
Like the most extreme, fastest, shreddiest and stuff. They had this drummer in their music video for their cover of Cat Scratch Fever.
Yeah.
That seriously looks like a human incarnation of
I remember
Bebop.
this. Yeah.
From the Ninja
Gigantic,
Turtles.
just stupid
jacked.
looking, weird. Yeah.
And like him holding drumsticks looks like he's holding like 2 chopsticks. Like a normal person holding chopsticks playing air drums. God. But he doesn't even use them all the time because he headbutts the cymbal.
Wait, have you ever gotten into the hole of looking up Shaq holding regular sized things? Like, have you ever seen a picture of him holding like a regular sized water and it looks like one of those little mini waters in his hand because his hand's so fucking big?
Is it like those pictures of Andre the Giant?
Yeah, when he's holding like a regular sized beer can and it's like fits in the palm of his hand with so much room around it.
It looks like a bar can.
Yeah.
Like those little bar cans of Coke. It looks that big. I've always had this really funny idea that if I was a really, really tall person, I would tell people to call me tiny.
Yeah.
I think that'd be
That's novel.
Because I'd actually be really tall and not.
People would be like, oh, he's a small guy? No, he's very tall. And they'd be like, that subverts my expectations.
That name doesn't
I find
fit him
that
at all.
humorous.
Huh. Mm-hmm. His name is tiny, but he's actually quite tall. I'm just, I'm kind of a free thinker.
Right, yeah.
And really a silly heart.
Yeah. You're
So I always thought that'd be a good idea. Steve, I'd like to give myself a poll here.
All right,
what you want to yank on here?
Well, let's yank on this one we haven't tried.
All right. So this is a brew here from Distill Brewery, which, where are they out of? Normal, Illinois. This is their Extended Jam Hazy IPA from their Deadhead IPA series. It's a 6.8er. And Kate brought me home a 6er of this from the Merchants of Beer in Knoxville.
So you've had it.
So I've been drinking on this all week, and I am unable to get tired of it. It's fucking awesome.
Awesome.
It's kind of a cloudy yellow color.
Yeah, but like real light.
It's kind of a preview of what your pea's going to look like in the morning.
Well, that's not a bad look.
Yeah.
Except for all the haze, the color's good.
Yeah, there you go. It kind of looks like a glass of pineapple juice,
I mean,
honestly.
yeah, if you brought this urine, they'd be like, did you ejaculate a lot last night? Because this is cloudy.
Spoilers, it also tastes a lot
great.
like pineapple. It's like super pineapple-y, super hazy and juicy.
God, it's just,
It's
so
sweet,
juicy.
but it's not super like sugary. I think that
All
you'll really, really dig
You gotta
it.
go in for this one.
I mean, like I said, usually by the time I get some kind of crazy beer, by the time I'm done with the 6-pack, I'm kind of tired of it. I just want more of this. How good is that?
Wow.
Right? It's a new dimension of flavor.
Yeah. That's very drinkable. First, like it's just like...
Oh, yeah. You could smash that.
Mm-hmm. The resiny taste kind of comes once you have swallowed it, but it's
kinda on the
real
aftertaste.
fruity.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But not artificially fruity tasting,
No, it just tastes like it's got some citrus to it, but it's
Pineapple's the main one that I get out of it, which I'm very, very, very okay with. Yeah, that's Destihl.
That's awesome, man.
Destihl Brewery. You guys be sure to check
Get
them out.
the H out of there.
Yeah, what he said.
What he said.
So good. All right, now, Steve, the subject of our show today
What it is
one Friday the 13th, the final chapter, as it's sometimes known, Part IV, or other times as it's known, Part 4.
Sometimes. And other people call it Friday the 17th.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
It wouldn't be Friday anymore.
Nobody's ever called it that.
Yeah. And this movie is noteworthy for being what many people say is the finest entry in the entire Jason saga.
For me, it is a constant battle between 1, 4, and 6.
Yeah.
I think 4 tends to be my favorite, but I don't know though, man. I was watching the documentary
Crystal Lake Memories.
The Crystal Lake Memories. If this is your first time tuning in, there's a documentary about Friday the 13th called Crystal Lake Memories.
Yeah.
It's on Shudder. It's on some other things.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah, it's like 7 hours long, close to, and that seems ridiculous, but they cover every single one of the
every movie like
movies
a half hour of time.
Yeah.
So that adds up to like 1 million hours of movie.
It's amazing.
It's by the same people that did Never Sleep Again.
Yes, which is also amazing. But I watched the part about the 4th movie, prepare for this. And then I was like, I want to, so why did they make the 5th movie? I didn't really remember. So I started watching the part about the 5th movie and then really got into like the stuff about the 5th movie. And then it got to the 6th movie and immediately it just hit me like, God damn it, I love this fucking movie.
Yeah, dude.
And them talking about it, how much fun they had making it and how ridiculous it is. 6 is so good. Anyway.
I'll also backtrack a little bit. I've been talking a lot recently about part 5 and how like there's no nudity or kills and nothing happens. Apparently I am remembering a different fucking movie.
Part 5 is for sure the smuttiest of the Friday the 13th films.
It's just kills and boobs.
Yeah. One of the kills they had to cut was the new wave goth girl. Jason was supposed to chop her in the crotch.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they had to cut that.
Whoa.
And just have him stab her.
Coming in hot.
Yeah. Lots of breasts and things. Just like, I mean, they're gratuitous usually.
Yeah.
But at least there's like an explanation. We're skinny dipping. But like, the first boobs you see in part 5 are just a woman looking in the mirror at herself, and then she unbuttons her shirt, looks at her boobs, and then buttons her shirt back up.
Just making sure these things are still active.
Still there.
Yep, still got them.
So 5's a little...
I don't know what I was thinking
more
of.
nudity than you remember.
I guess I'm thinking of part 6. Like, I think there's
6 is...
It's pretty tame, right?
Very tame as far as nudity goes. I feel like 7 is 2. I'm not positive on that one.
Yeah.
I haven't seen 7 in a while.
Well, there's kind of that phase like in the early 80s where you could get away with a lot of stuff. And then I think like once they started figuring out, well, they implemented the PG-13 rating.
Yeah.
And so then studios are like, oh, if it's rated R, then nobody's going to go see it.
Right. Yeah.
So we need to, get it close to that PG-13 range if we can. I think that must have been a factor.
Well, the irony is that they had to deal with it like with every single installment of the Friday the 13th. They had to deal with censors wanting them to cut so many of the kills.
Yeah.
With part 5, that was the stuff that they kept having them cut. But they didn't have them cut all the boobs. Like, it was like, no violence. Breasts, good. It's weird that it went like an opposite way. Yeah. Like, it's weird that movie got away with so much nudity. And they had to cut so much of the violence. Maybe it was because it was so violent, they were just like...
Something's got to give
Something's got to give.
Yeah, something's got to give. Now, the reason why part 4 is most people's most beloved entry into this franchise, I think I can boil it down to one simple element of the movie, and that's that goddamn dance scene.
Yeah.
When
Crispin Glover is teaching us all how to feel with our hearts, how to let the rhythm take over.
Right.
And at one point, it looks like I think he's showing us how to choke a cat.
There's something like that in there.
Yeah. Where he's doing this.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me a lot of every time you'd sit down to like play a new like fighting game and you'd be figuring out the controls.
Yeah, and you're just pushing stuff.
Yeah, it's like, what does this one do? What does this combination do? Kind of just makes you look like
He's got some Elaine kicks in there, too.
There's some tiny little kicks in there. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So I think before we start getting into the review portion of the movie here, Steve, I think we ought to just glide on in so smooth and easily on into the preview palace.
Welcome to the preview palace, Michael
I'm in the
McDonald.
preview palace.
Oh, Michael McDonald, I love you.
I love you too. And I say that we just take a minute here and reflect and celebrate some of the other more memorable scenes of the art of the dance in horror movies. Let's talk about a few of them.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the best and worst, some of the most prominent dances.
Well, here's the thing: is, a lot of times the best ones are the worst.
Yeah,
ones.
that's true. Because I mean, the best one is legit Crispin Glover and Friday the 13th Part 4.
It's the greatest one. Yeah, obviously, and
it's that because it's whatever it is.
Unbelievably
it's
weird.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. So we're not going to bother talking about, trash dancing like you see in Black Swan and Suspiria. We're not going near it. That's just garbage.
We know what we're doing. This is artistic expression.
No. Bullshit. I'm talking about people who can really dance. I'm talking about people that really put their souls and their boobs and butts into it, like
You already said
girl. Trash.
You said trash.
Yeah, exactly right. From
Trash.
Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah,
Linnea Quigley.
Who had a clothes allergy in the 80s.
Yeah, I think that was the problem.
He was allergic to all clothing.
Just get it off of me. I can't stand it.
So yeah, you got her nude dance scene in a cemetery in Return of the Living Dead, which is, I mean,
a treasure.
A punk rock
I love
horror
that movie. It's
and
so good.
So awesome and campy, but also like really great movie. I would really like it.
She's hanging out in the cemetery there with is it with Suicide?
Yep, Suicide's there and Spider and all of them.
Yeah, and she's like, you ever think about death and dying and all the ways you can die? And she just gets so riled up, her clothes allergy kicks in.
Yeah. Oh no!
Got to rip them things off and expose that she is, I guess, built like a Barbie doll, I suppose.
She's very skinny.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about like the weird crotch piece they had on her.
Oh, right, because of the merkin they made her wear. Yeah, that made it look like basically she didn't have genitalia.
Just a flat spot.
Yep.
Just the old flat spot. But she rocks a dance to some really sassy number that's like, I slept with the devil. It wasn't a big deal.
It wasn't.
The song is
honestly.
fucking awesome. I can't remember who does it. I went through a phase where I just listened to it like on repeat all the time because it's so dumb and shitty. It's a great scene of dance and self-expression of the body.
Yeah. Ben, let me talk to you about a little movie called Gremlins.
Gremlins.
Gremlins. Joe Dante's Gremlins.
Ever beloved.
Yep. It
got
has.
some dancing.
In Gremlins 1, we get a flash dance into break dance.
Hell yes, we do, man.
And then in Gremlins 2, kick line.
Yeah, a little rocket action going on in there.
Now, Gremlins 2 is, of course, one of the most insane movies ever made.
It sounds like it is just a cocaine fest. Like, I've not watched it.
Okay.
I've not watched it in... God, man, like I want to say I haven't watched it in like 17 years, but I don't have like any memories of it at all. I might not have ever seen it.
I don't know that I could claim it's good.
Okay.
But it is one of the most...
It is a movie.
It's one of those things that you have to see to try to understand why it exists. And once you do start down that path, it will never end. It's basically like it sucks your soul out.
Wow.
And then reassembles it and then puts it back in you and you're forever changed. It's pretty great. Check out Gremlins 2.
Sounds bedazzling. They should put that review on the box. I think that'd move a lot of units. That's what they say in the biz.
Yeah,
it's going to move a lot of units.
Hey, we're slinging some tent. They're moving units.
Yeah, you're damn right they are. Now, one of my favorite dance numbers in all of horror history comes from our homegirl, Jocelyn Donahue.
Yeah.
In Ty West's immortal beloved classic, The House of the Devil.
Yes.
One of my favorite fucking movies.
Yes. And this dance scene is great.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
It's awesome. At this point in the movie, she thinks alone.
Yeah.
Almost in this house for, there's like 40 minutes of this movie with no dialogue.
Yeah, it's just her alone quietly in this creepy house. I mean, it's creepy, but it's like only creepy because we know
what's going on.
Yeah, we've seen some shit.
Yeah.
But she has no idea. She's just chilling in this house and dancing along.
She turns on her Walkman radio. Turns on a little bit of One Thing Leads to Another by The Fix. One thing leads to
another. Can I be in the song, guys?
No, Michael McDonald, you're fired. Get out of here.
No, I'm crying.
That's Michael McDonald crying.
So sad.
I'm imagining his little shoulders going up. Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's such a fucking great scene in the movie, and I love the song.
It's like a good juxtaposition for the viewer because you know the weird shit that's already going on a little bit. Like, you know, we saw Greta Gerwig get shot before she made Lady Bird. It's weird that she survived
she did that before. Yeah.
She still looks great.
Little
Shot
to
in the
no
face,
visible
still
scar.
looks great.
Yeah. She did well for herself. A team of very talented surgeons were behind that fix.
So there's like a weird tension in that moment where it's like she's having this fun and the music is, you know, fun, but we know like, oh, I don't know what's going on here.
There's some not savory business happening behind them closed doors. God, I love The House of the Devil so much, man. I can watch that one any old time.
Oh, man. We just talked about this a little bit ago.
Yeah.
The new wave goth girl in Friday the 13th Part 5.
I adore everything about it, dude.
Well, it was like a robot sort of thing.
Yeah, but somehow less emotional than a robot.
Yeah. There's like no emotion to it.
No.
But it's perfect.
She's up there grinding to some kind of goth new wave.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not quite as dark as like, like a Bauhaus or...
Yeah, apparently she brought that song in.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and they just paid for the rights to it and put it in the movie.
I'd have put on some Sisters of Mercy.
Hell yeah.
I'd put on some Sisters of Mercy and just jam that out. Yeah, she's not quite true goth, but she's going for it and putting in a pretty stiff, emotionless dance. I think it's that way because it shows us how little of a heart and how little of a soul she has in this cruel, cold world.
Yeah, she's black inside.
Yeah, she's
black like the night.
It's a good scene. Very silly. Very, very silly. What do you know about a man what's a neo-Nazi?
Right.
What be making skin suits out of large ladies.
Right.
And what tucks his ding-a-ling, twixt his legs, and does a little dancing. What do you know about that guy?
Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me.
Are you about a size 14?
Was she a great big fat person?
Oh, wait.
Oh, man.
Oh, wait.
Oh, man. We're talking about a Buffalo Bill in the Silence of the Lambs. Ooh, what an unsettling scene.
Yeah.
It's a feel-bad dance number.
It is for sure a feel-bad dance number. But, I mean, he's going for it.
Oh, full out.
Yeah.
Full out. Well, full in, I guess.
Full tuck.
Full back.
Yeah, full back.
Yeah, full back in there. Yeah, dude, the first time that I watched that movie, I mean, it was disturbing enough.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, that's kind of the last thing you could expect
you
to see.
You do not expect that to happen. I do remember as a teenager seeing it for the first time and being like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What?
That's another song that I went through a really weird obsessive streak with, where I listened to it like day in and day out, over and over and over. Is Goodbye Horses by Q Lazarus. Yeah. It's the only album Q Lazarus ever did. And it's like a 4 or 5 song EP.
Wow.
I have no idea how they found it, but it could not have been more perfect. It's so fucking weird. You should listen to that EP. It's strange, man. Q Lazarus is a chick.
Okay.
I thought it was a dude singing that.
All right. I can see it's the voice.
Kind of androgynous.
Androgynous, yeah, is what I was going to say.
It's kind of that Tracy Chapman thing where it's like, well, whatever. It's a person singing a song. That's all I know.
Sing a damn song.
That Buffalo Bill dance scene, though, man, it is just not going to make you feel good.
Ben, one of my favorite dance scenes is from one of our most beloved installments, The Nightmare on Elm Street.
I think I know the one you're talking about.
Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Yes.
The dance scene, Jesse's dance scene when he is cleaning his room.
Yes.
And he closes the drawer with his wiggling butt.
Little fanny bump action.
He's got a little like cork gun that he's singing into with his sunglasses on.
Quasi-erotically working that thing.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
I think he jumps up on the bed at one point.
He does. And then his mom comes walking in with his love interest.
Yeah, quasi-girlfriend.
I mean, his love interest is...
Walks through
check out our episode on it if you want to understand.
There's some deep thoughts in that episode. There's some deep thoughts. They walk through his door that says "No girls allowed."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a treasure.
There's a lot going on in that movie, but that dance is real fun.
Yeah.
I just don't know what rhythm the butt thrust into the dresser is to. Like, when do you pull that one out?
That's to the rhythm of his own heart, man. He was totally just beating that thing around to the rhythm of his own butt. Dance to the rhythm of your butt.
Shake it fast.
Watch yourself. Hey, watch yourself.
Shake it.
Hey, hang on. Show me what you're working with.
Shake your ass. Watch yourself.
God, I want to hear it.
I knew he'd come back.
I want to hear Mike McDonald bust a move on that one. Yeah, that is a great one, man. That's a great one. One of my favorites is the super awkward, like 6-person dance scene in the old abandoned mansion in Night of the Demons.
Oh man!
Also with Linnea Quigley.
Also Linnea Quigley. Also, her clothing allergy was still acting up in that one.
Yeah, she had a hard time with it.
She did.
Yeah.
Night of the Demons is a good one. That was the one I watched a lot as a kid.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I watched it for the first time like a year ago.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not love it.
It's not like, I mean, it's not a great movie.
Of course not.
But it just has all the elements, I think, of that sort of 80s horror movie that you really just want. It hits all the buttons.
Yep.
It's like when you get like some cheap ramen and you look at the ingredients and there's like nothing natural in it, but you eat it and you're like, this is fucking ramen. It tastes great.
There's fine print that says made from all outer space ingredients.
Yeah, fine, cool. Let me have some of your alien ramen. It's delicious.
Contains no earthbound ingredients.
Yeah. And that's Night of the Demons.
Yeah, it's pretty much like that.
Awkward dance scene.
Yeah, there's like 6 people in here. They got a boombox and a strobe light.
Uh-huh.
And apparently, like, before the internet, that was enough that you would have a good time with your friends doing that, I guess.
I do remember periods before the internet and the things that... It was enough to just have music playing.
Yeah, or to throw rocks into the woods.
Sure.
That was enough there for a little while.
Yeah, that was fun. You pretend that there's something you're throwing them at, and boom, man, that's an afternoon right there.
It's really odd because, like, I do remember those times doing stuff like that for an afternoon.
Yeah.
Like, let's go out and skip rocks on the lake or whatever.
Yep.
But it really just shows me what, like, absolute sensory junkies we've all become.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I think I would go out there and do that for 20 seconds and be like, can we go? Like, there's got to be something better we do.
Check Instagram real quick.
Yeah, there's got to be something going on.
No bars out here.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, we do love ourselves some dancing around and gyrating in a horror movie. I'm sure there's some that we've missed, Steve. I know there's a bunch that we probably forgot.
So definitely.
You guys be sure to let us know your favorite horror movie dance-off in the comments if you're listening on YouTube or on our Facebook or Discord pages or any of that kind of stuff. Be sure to let us know the ones that we skipped over, what you guys love. And you know, Steve, speaking of our social media pages,
what?
I think it's about time that we give some of our new patrons a little shout out. Shout them all out. Yeah, this is a very musical episode for some reason.
I don't know why.
I'm okay with it. Yeah, let these people who have been giving us their hard-earned dollar papers.
These awesome folks, yeah.
Word.
Omar Khan, thank you for giving us money. He actually gave us a good bit of money by sending us money on PayPal.
What a good boy. What a good boy.
Awesome. Josh Wallraven. Thank you.
The Wallraven. The infamous.
Oh my God, Wallraven? He's the three-eyed raven.
Yeah, that's right. He's direct competition. I think somewhere out there he's got an arch nemesis called the Sky Raven.
What?
Yeah, and they battle at dusk.
Sky versus Wall.
But then I think after that, they become like a tag team.
Yes.
Yeah, Wall Raven and Sky Raven.
Sky Wall, they call themselves.
There's got to be a sick team-up move there, too.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
and
for
it's
sure.
off the top rope.
Absolutely so. Yeah, and Sky Raven's definitely going off the top. That just makes sense. Yeah.
Shout out to Kalani Warpool.
Kalani, you're a good boy.
Warpole?
Yeah.
Warpole.
A warp zone.
Warp zone.
He's a good old picking boy.
Yeah.
That boy likes to pick a few.
And
I also like to pick a few.
We've both met Kalani.
Yes, indeed we have.
You've met him a couple times.
Couple, 2, 3 times. He's a good fella. I don't care what people say about him.
Oh, shit. Are they talking shit again?
Don't worry
Sorry
about
that, Kalani. We told him to stop.
Yeah, we did. We tried to tell him.
Shout out to Greg Gardner.
Greg Gardner, also a good friend of mine and quite a picker. Also somebody I met in person. Yeah.
A picker and a grinner.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
John McKiernan.
Way to go, John. You did it.
We don't have anything fun to say about John McKiernan.
He's a serious kind of guy.
Yeah, that John, he's serious.
Stern, stoic. That's how he likes us to think of him.
Yes, stern-faced and well-penised.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, that's what they're saying.
And of course, Sean Gilbert.
Sean Gilbert, what's up, man? Thank you so much. Yeah, you guys have been so good to us, giving us your hard-earned dollar papers. If you guys enjoy the show and want to show some support, be sure to go and drop by our Patreon site. Where can they find that?
Patreon.com/deadandlovely.
Oh, yes, indeed. And we're building up those tiers, getting some goals so we can get some merch and stuff like that. So every buck counts. So if you enjoy it, drop us $1.05.
Freedom costs $1. That was some Michael McDonald. That wasn't Michael McDonald.
Yeah, it wasn't
but
quite
that was
there.
what they were going for there.
Yeah, definitely. So, okay, Steve, the topic of our show today is the so-called final chapter of Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I
turned
got
out
some
to
stuff
not
to say
be the final
about
chapter.
that
Now,
final chapterness.
this was the first time you'd ever seen the movie before, right?
I
First
skipped
time.
over this when I was a kid. I was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'll watch all but 4.
Gotcha.
No, this one was one that I saw. I remember watching this with my aunt and uncle in their living room when it came out on VHS.
Yeah?
With me and my cousins. And this was, I don't know.
You were probably 25 or so?
Yeah, it was around 25.
Around 25,
No,
yeah.
I was a little one, probably about 6 or 5 or 6 whenever
Not a big boy.
it came out on VHS.
Not a big boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember when the Corey Feldman reacting to potentially seeing boobs scene happened.
He's just wilding out.
Yeah, my cousin Casey and I both started doing that, and my uncle and aunt thought it was hilarious. And so we would do it every once in a while when we would be watching horror movies and it was about to be boobs.
Yeah?
Yeah. That was fun.
That's awesome.
Also, that sounds weird that we were watching a movie that showed boobs with my aunt and uncle, their parents, when we were like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
But that was just my growing up. That's what we did. When I would go stay with them on like Friday nights during the school year, we would watch horror movies with their parents.
That's the thing, though, is I think that like kids that grow up in households where they're not all super fucking squeamish and weird about nudity, those kids usually end up much better adapted.
Yeah.
And not with a bunch of weird fucking hang-ups and stuff.
Yeah.
It's totally okay, you know? I also like to imagine that you on your Mormon honeymoon, like maybe the first time your new Mormon bride is undressing, you're doing the same moves and stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was... I was going, a Mormon! Like, shouting out to the great Mormon to fly down with his flaming pumpkins.
Thank you, Mormon! For the
Mormons. I will tell you this. Yeah, our honeymoon was a regular honeymoon. We just didn't drink.
Ah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was pretty much exactly what you would expect from two people who hadn't had sex with each other up to that point.
A lot of bumping and grinding.
A lot of bumping and grinding, yeah. Nothing more going on. We did go see Iron Man 2 one day because it was raining at the beach.
I would call that a low point of the honeymoon.
Yeah.
It's not great.
That is one of the like Iron Man 2 and Thor: The Dark World are both kind of just
yeah. I do like how in Endgame that kind of made that Thor movie kind of important, though.
They did.
They brought back elements of it. That was kind of cool by me.
Yeah, it did help out a little bit, but it's still not a great movie.
I do want to know how Rocket got that ether stuff back in Natalie Portman. You ever thought about that?
That's a good question.
Yeah, because it had to go back.
It had to go back in her.
It was in her.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a deleted scene that might not ever see the light of day. Pretty sure.
Yes, a raccoon-looking creature trying to figure out how to put a red goo back into a human woman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they had to cut that. I bet they shot it, though.
Yeah. Oh, obviously, yeah.
I'm sure Natalie Portman was all for it.
Well, yeah. Well, she's like, I didn't show up on set to not have lines or do anything.
Yeah, let's get that red fluid in.
While we're at it, let's go for it. So I watched this for the first time whenever I watched through the entire... well, actually, I can't even say I watched through all of the Friday the 13th movies because there's still a couple I haven't seen.
Okay.
I think it was a couple of years ago on Amazon. They just put up like 1 through... I guess it was all the way up to Goes to Hell.
Probably.
Yeah. And I watched through all of them in the course of like 2 or 3 days. Watched through all of them. Had never seen any of them before. I think that's why in my head I fuck up what happens in a lot of them, you know? Like what I've been doing with 5 lately.
Well, yeah. I mean, but they can easily run together, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty much all a bunch of kids are doing something. Jason shows up and kills them.
Yeah, and then he goes to Manhattan and it gets weird.
Yeah.
And then he goes to space and hell. He's all over the place.
He's a world traveler.
Those movies are a bit different, but still pretty much the same.
Yeah, still pretty much the same thing, yeah. So I watched this one, and, you know, if you guys have listened to our show, you know that I love 1, I love 2, 3 is okay.
I didn't like it at all.
It's not that great, man. People really idolize that 3rd one.
I know. I get it. I mean, like, you know, you have your ones.
It's fine.
4 is the one I remember the best from my childhood, so like it... I mean, I think a lot of people like 4 because it's a good movie.
Yeah.
But for me, it also has that nostalgia. So if 3 is your nostalgia one, I get it, or 5 or whatever. Everybody's gonna have their nostalgia one, the one that brought them into the series.
Yeah. But this one just has so much going for it that makes it, I think, so much more memorable and identifiable from the other ones. You know, it's like I'm constantly messing up which kill happened in what movie, but it's like I know this one like the back of my hand, and I've only seen it a couple times just because everything that happens in it is so iconic. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, the fucking Doublemint twins are in here.
The Doublemint twins are in it. Crispin Glover, we already mentioned.
Amazingly awesome and weird in here. We got a Corey Feldman. Who, hey, shout out to Corey Feldman. I met you at NAMM like 2 or 3 years ago.
Do you remember? He might remember, maybe. What if he does?
Could be. Yeah.
But he listens.
He might.
He probably does.
Maybe,
hey, Corey.
Maybe he turns on my guitar lesson videos to teach his angels how to shred.
He's got angels?
Yeah, don't you remember that?
I don't know much about Corey Feldman's adult life.
Ooh, man, it's a strange place.
Yeah.
So, do you remember he had that music thing he was like pursuing a couple years ago? So his band was all these like gorgeous ass chicks in lingerie, and they were called as angels. And they wore like angel wings and stuff.
I don't like that.
Yeah. I don't think they did either.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't know if that's still going on or not.
Yeah.
It seemed kind of like a weird cult.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
I mean, but whenever people talk about Corey Feldman being a bit off, it's like, well, he was molested by a bunch of powerful people in Hollywood as a kid.
Yeah.
And they sort of passed him around. And so that'd make you a bit weird.
That'll probably stick with a person and make them make odd life choices, I suppose.
Yeah. So Corey Feldman had a sad life.
Probably. But gave us so many great movies.
He really fucking did. Dude, and he was great in them.
Yes. The Lost Boys.
He's great in that. He's amazing.
Yes.
Not one of my favorite movies, but he's so good in it.
I love The Lost Boys.
I know. I get that a lot of people do. And I get the fun of it for sure.
Obviously, the Goonies.
Goonies is so good. Goonies is the reason why he didn't come back for part 5.
But the thing is apparently, contrary to popular belief, Goonies do say die.
They do?
Die!
He does. He does say that.
They do too say it.
Yeah.
God damn it.
That's true. That at least one does. Maybe they mean by that no more than one Goonie says die.
Is it no more than one total or no more than one at a time? Like, could they stand in a circle and all say die in a round? But if they overlapped, it would be catastrophic.
I don't know. Like, if he and Martha Plimpton were in the same room, but looking opposite directions, could they say die?
Yeah.
Or if they feel like they're separate at the time, like they're both on their phone.
That's a good question. That really, really is. But yeah, they do say it.
Corey Feldman, yeah, he's in this year that this came out, 1984, less than 2 months after this, he was in Gremlins.
Good Lord, man, racking up the hits.
Yeah. So and we covered Gremlins Christmas some time ago. Go check it out. But he really was on the ascent at this point, and he's great in this. He's charming.
He was a super charming kid.
He delivers his lines well.
Yeah.
He doesn't sound like a kid acting. He sounds like a kid being a kid.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing about it, right? Like a lot of those kid actors, especially in the 80s, were just fucking horrible. Like those kids in The Gate and stuff like that.
But he also, I think he impresses us because we think of him as younger than he is. He's 11 in this movie.
He's always been
He's just a smaller guy, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he was awesome in The Burbs, too. Can't forget The Burbs.
Oh, man.
So fucking good. Oh, my God.
He's in so many good movies.
Yeah. And in this movie, he plays Tommy Jarvis.
Uh-huh.
Which this is kind of the start of the Tommy trilogy.
Yes. This, 5 and 6. Now, 5 moves forward 5 years and gets an actor that's like 20 years older.
I was going to say, he sure did age a lot in those 5 years.
Yeah, that's a little weird. But yeah, and then they have a different actor for 6 as well. So Tommy Jarvis has a trilogy, but he's played by 3 different people in that trilogy.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like the thing they set up in Nightmare on Elm Street with Kirsty.
Oh, right. But then they couldn't get Patricia Arquette back, so...
Yeah. So
and Tuesday Night just was not Patricia Arquette.
No, not at all.
Yeah, and he's loosely based off of Tom Savini, this Tommy Jarvis. The name comes directly from Tom Savini, and he also does the Tom Savini thing.
Yeah, making some special effects.
Special effects, yeah.
Masks and stuff like that. Which is just cool to see that, like, already by this point, this came out in what,
84, yeah.
Like, Tom Savini was already such a legend that it was like, let's sneak in tributes to him in huge blockbuster movies because he's that fucking important.
Yeah.
The Wizard of Gore.
It's so great. Man, I'm glad he came back for this. Joe Zito got him to come. Joe Zito, when he signed on to this project, they already had somebody else doing the effects. And that guy left due to creative differences, which I imagine was a conversation saying, hey, I want you to leave because I want my buddy Tom Savini to come.
I found out Tom Savini would do it, so...
and Tom Savini came back to the series. You know, he did the effects in the first one.
Yeah, he sidestepped 2 because he was like, but Jason's not alive.
Yeah, he didn't get the Jason thing at all, and then just came back because it was like, whatever, makes sense. But yeah, he nails it. Like, all the effects are exactly what you expect from Tom Savini.
Yeah, they're top notch.
Perfect, fun. I like the sliding down the machete at the end. That's
incredible.
Amazing.
Dude, that's the thing is, like, not only are the special effects in this amazing, and there are a ton of them.
Yeah.
But also the editing used is fucking tight, man.
They had to, because the censors were, like, just sending it back to them every time with notes every time. And they what they decided to do was to cut as little as possible from Jason sliding down the machete.
That was like the money shot.
They have to have that. So they would cut from all the other kills as much as they could.
Really?
So that's why it looks so tight. That's why it looks so tight and actually ends up making the editing look great.
That's the thing, yeah.
It's sort of an accident, but it looks great. It's so tight. Like, everything's super effective and quick.
Yeah. And it goes by so quickly, too, that you don't even really notice that there's an appliance or that it's a fake head or whatever. It all goes by so fast. But then, like, in your memory, you remember them as these very brutal, agonizing scenes where Jason's, like, crushing this guy's head in the shower and stuff like this. In reality, it's, like, maybe half of a second.
It's so amazing how they were able to do... And again, it's, like, necessity. If it's going to get an X rating instead of an R rating, you know, they had to keep cutting it. But... They knew what to cut. They knew where to cut, and they knew where it would still look good.
You got to know where to cut the flick. Know where to cut the flick. Okay, I kind of ran out of steam early on now. Yeah, kind of ran out of steam on that.
I want to talk about the production of this a little.
Now, hang on, before you get on this insider bullshit.
What's happening?
I just got to get a pull.
Oh man,
I can't be having you telling me all this industry stuff on a dry whistle.
You get a pull, I'm going to get a yank.
Get a yank on that
thing.
Get a
yank of it.
This is the second week in a row we have had the Shorts Brew psychedelic, what's it called?
Psychedelic cat grass.
Yeah. Which is given to us by old notorious RDM, Roger Dean Miller. We had this last week. It's extremely good.
It's so good.
It's a week older than it was last week.
Yeah, let's see if it's changed a little, because this is supposed to be drank immediately. So a lot of those sort of sharper notes from last week will probably be a bit dulled, but that also can make it have a bit more of a mature taste. So
maybe it's like that. We'll find out about it.
What if it tastes like piss?
Oh yeah. What if it tastes like the entire contents of my refrigerator? It's like, I can taste a curry in here.
Wow, that wouldn't be bad, would it?
Maybe not.
I'd try a curry.
I'd be crazy enough to try. I found a red curry potato chip at Walmart that's fucking amazing. Like crazy. It's got like powdered coconut and curry paste.
It's still good.
So good.
It's
the beer's good?
Yeah.
Spoilers. Yeah, I'm shocked.
Red curry potato chip. That sounds awesome.
They were ridiculous. Yeah, I blew through them.
I could see like if somebody made like a mango, like
good.
If Mozang or Mozango, is that the Lagunitas, the mango one?
Yeah.
If that had a bit of curry to it.
I don't think that it's a nutty idea at all.
Yeah.
Well, especially too if you really pump up the, let's say, the lemongrass and the coriander and the cardamom aspects.
Yeah, get all those
paste,
other sort of spices going.
The galangal and ginger and things in there. Holy shit. It could be really good.
There might be a brew that exists, but if not, trademark didn't live.
Yeah, and if there is, send us one.
We would love to drink it.
Yeah, we love drinking beers that our fans send us. So yeah, seriously, write us an email. We'll give you a P.O. box where you can send us some beers and stuff like that. All right, so hit me with this insider production stuff here, Hollywood.
Okay, it's me, Hollywood Steve. So Frank Mancuso Jr., he, with part 3, kind of wanted it to finish. He wanted it to be a trilogy, and he wanted that to be the end.
I guess he hated making money. What an idiot.
There's some stuff that's going on back in there, and I can't say anything for sure, but I mean, Frank Mancuso Sr. was CEO of Paramount. He put Frank Mancuso Jr. on Friday the 13th Part 2 as an assistant. And then he, in Part 3, was a executive producer. And he kind of wanted to move away from that, at least as from what I could gather from what I read. He wanted to move away from being the horror movie guy to, be able to make other stuff.
Okay.
But at the end of 3, Paramount wanted a 4, and he decided, all right, well, this will be it. The final chapter.
Okay.
Yeah. And so the idea was that they were going to kill him. For real, this would be the end. But even while they were making it, when they came to the point of killing Jason with a machete, apparently Tom Savini was like, well, we could do a few different things. We could decapitate him. We could stab him, whatever. And they were like, let's not decapitate him.
Yeah,
and everybody was like,
the head on
okay,
there.
so there's going to be a 5. Gotcha.
They built it. You're saying they built in a escape door for themselves, just in case, because I think everybody knew it's like there's definitely got to be more of these. They cost nothing to make.
Well, in the ending of this, there's it's obviously a setup for Tommy is going to become Jason.
Yeah,
right. It's pretty clear.
Right,
but that of course doesn't happen because Corey Feldman had to leave. So yeah, because since Corey Feldman had to leave, they couldn't do the 5th part the way they wanted it.
That's too bad, because I would have loved to have seen him come back and reprise the role of Tommy.
That would have made more sense than what does happen in 5.
Yeah,
for sure. But anyway, Mancuso thought the reason why he wanted to finish the series is that he thought that the critical backlash against slashers and the slightly declining box office returns on a lot of slashers meant that the slasher craze was over. This is 1983 when he's thinking this. Guess what movie hadn't been made? Nightmare on Elm Street.
Wait, this is still pre-Elm Street. Yeah, it came out in 84.
This movie is pre-Elm Street. Yes.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Holy shit.
He thought it was over. He thought this is done.
I always forget how much earlier the 13th movie started before everything else.
And they made one a year too, so it was
fast.
Fast.
Wow, man.
So he was thinking it was over. Well, see, there was no use in it.
I kind of wondered, honestly, and now that you're kind of saying that he was dealing with the critical, concerned parents and stuff like this, I even kind of wondered if the way that he made Tommy, who is obsessed with horror movies and stuff like this, snap and become a murderer at the end was some kind of commentary on this filth being in his brain.
I can see
or something,
that.
you know? If this is a horror movie that is commenting on how bad horror movies are or something.
Maybe. Yeah, it's got some of that to it. I would say, because we just talked about this with Sleepaway Camp 2, the 2 kids in Sleepaway Camp 2 that are obviously sort of representative of the audience of Sleepaway Camp 2, the ones that are taking nude pictures through the windows. But yeah, Tommy Jarvis does seem to be the audience. He's bought in. He's doing the special effects himself. He's so obsessed with them.
And he's the one that's jumping up and down over boobs the same way you are as a kid watching this and stuff too.
Yeah, and that's exactly. Corey Feldman said that in the documentary. Let me read the exact quote. He said, the biggest thing for me was boobies.
Some boobies, okay.
I was an 11-year-old. I'm like, I get to do scenes with boobies? That's what we all were at that point, because this was pre-internet porn. This is this proliferation of seeing nudity. It was a huge treat, especially as a prepubescent to pubescent guy, where you're like, what is going on with everything under a woman's clothes? I need to understand. Maybe that is sort of what was going on. Let me talk a little bit though. I got Joseph Zito, the director of this, who we already said directed Prowler.
Yeah, which is a pretty cool movie. It's
decent.
Great Savini effects.
The kills are all amazing.
It's really worth sitting through the Prowler just to watch the kills. I've said that before. I maintain it.
The shotgun,
the pitchfork kill,
so many great kills in there.
So good.
So Joe Zito directed that, and I love Joe Zito's career, and
I don't know much about him. I just know that he did the Prowler. That's
he did the Prowler before this, and then he did this. He also did a couple Chuck Norris movies.
Ooh.
Missing in Action, and Invasion USA.
Ooh.
Invasion USA is, if you saw the poster of it, you'd recognize it immediately. It's iconic. He's standing there with like 2 Tech 9s that are blasting off. Like,
yeah. Is it also the one where he wears jeans and kicks somebody?
Yes.
That one. That's my favorite one. And it's got that soundtrack song by Led Zeppelin where Robert Plant says baby a lot. It's my favorite one.
And it's everyone's favorite Led Zeppelin song.
Yeah, the one where he says baby.
Robert Plant says baby a lot.
A lot, right.
Here's the thing, though. Joe Zito was signed on in the late 80s. Following the success of Friday the 13th, Part 4, signed on to direct Spider-Man.
Spider-Man?
Yeah. Canon Films had the rights to Spider-Man at the time. Now, Canon Films, not known for making good movies. They made
what year would this be around?
Mid to late 80s. So
okay.
After Friday the 13th, basically.
But well before we'd have the technology needed to make a good Spider-Man movie.
Oh, definitely. Now,
oh my God.
Here, I just want to tangent
Films.
this to talk about the Canon Films Spider-Man that never came to be.
I don't know anything about this.
It was originally to be directed by Tobe Hooper.
Look out. What? That old cokehead was going to do a Spider-Man movie?
Yeah.
That would have been nutty as shit.
And the original script of Spider-Man was more like Wolfman.
Wait. I heard about this.
Where he would turn into an 8-legged Spider-Man.
It's like he had never even picked up the comic, but just entirely wrote based on the name Spider-Man. What would that be? A man who is also a spider.
Yes.
I heard about this. I did not know that this was connected to him.
Yeah.
What the fuck? That sounds horrible.
Menachem Golem.
Well, hold on. What was that fucking name?
He was the head of Canon Films. Canon Films, you need to understand.
I think they fought one of those in the Lord of the Rings.
They did.
Menachem
Golem. So they made Superman 3, one of the worst comic book movies ever made.
Is that the one with the people that get
it's caught the one with Richard
Pryor?
Pryor.
Oh, Richard Pryor's in it.
Yeah.
Which is the one I'm talking about, where the people get stuck in like the flat sheet.
The
Kryptonians.
Yeah, that's the end of 2, right?
2? Okay.
Yeah, it's with Zod. Yeah.
3 is the one that's just like they try to act like it never even happened.
Yes.
It's like the Crystal Skull.
They also produced the He-Man movie.
The Masters of the Universe movie?
Yes, which is one of the worst
with
movies of all time.
It is a silly-ass movie.
Yeah. Canon Films, not known for making quality products and not known for translating characters people already love into good films.
They're known for understanding licensed properties, for sure.
Right.
For sure.
So they brought on Joe Zito, who said he wanted to make something true to the comic book because he was an actual fan. And Joe Zito, like, you know, some of the people they were considering for the movie at the time, Tom Cruise for Spider-Man.
Oh.
Stan Lee as J. Jonah Jameson.
Real.
Yeah, like they were considering real names. Like Aunt May was. They were looking at a couple of
Marissa Tomei.
They were looking at Marissa Tomei at the time. She was a child. But yeah, they were looking at some big names, and they had an actual real budget at a certain point, and the script was rewritten by Barry Cohen, who wrote the screenplay for Friday the 13th, the final chapter.
Oh, okay.
Here's some things about Barry Cohen's script that you might find interesting. Again, we were talking during a Friday the 13th episode about a Spider-Man movie that never happened, but I just found this so interesting. Here's just some of the highlights of his script. Dr. Octopus. Dr. Octopus. I never think of him as being called Dr. Octopus. He's Doc Ock.
Doc Ock. Okay.
Yeah. Dr. Octopus is known as Professor Octopus.
Oh, okay. So he's not quite reached his doctorhood yet. He's
Prof Ock.
Oh, Prof Ock he's called.
Prof Ock has an assistant named Wiener.
I'd like to think that while Dr. Octopus was going through school, he was also briefly known as like Bachelor Octopus.
Yeah. Master Octopus.
Actually, Master Octopus sounds pretty badass.
It really does. And honestly, when I got my master's degree, I thought like, that's better. Like, Master sounds better than Doctor to me.
It does. Master.
Yeah.
Master.
Because if you say Doctor, people are like, oh, you like medicine.
Do you think the reason Doc Ock is so mad is because of how much student loans he has to pay off? Because he chose to be a doctor of octopussery?
I'll tell you right now, if I had some Doc Ock limbs, I'd rob a bank.
I think I would rather be just an associate of octopussery. You know? Much less pressure, much less loans.
That's true. An associate of octopussery.
You're not often told you're overqualified.
That's true.
You know, it's not really much of an issue.
He had an assistant named Wiener.
I like it already.
Who was the one who killed Uncle Ben, though they didn't reveal that. It was going to be, I guess, for the sequel, huh?
Uncle Ben was killed by Wiener?
By Wiener. Oh my God, he got fucked to death.
Do with that what you will, Internet.
And Prof Ock said okie dokie multiple times in the script.
That was like his thing.
Yeah.
He really understood this license.
Really got it. Really got it.
Very well.
What happened was the budget got slashed a whole bunch, and then Joe Zito left, and then it eventually just fell apart.
Yeah.
But Joe Zito's career is so interesting because like those I believe those Chuck Norris movies were Canon Films. So he was working with Canon Films throughout this. He made 2 Chuck Norris movies and a Dolph Lundgren movie for them that are all just those like Rambo ripoffs, basically.
Yeah.
And it just seems like such a waste because he did a great job with this movie.
Yeah. It's great.
Not to say that I'm sure he got paid well to do those other movies. I'm sure his career was fine. He seems like a very happy, fun guy in the documentary. So it seemed like so strange to me that he was on the precipice of directing Spider-Man and then just nothing. But of course, at that time, Spider-Man wouldn't have been a big deal. People wouldn't have been like, "Oh, you're going to direct the Spider-Man?"
Right? Yeah. Did he ever go on to do anything else like really big in his career that we know?
No.
Damn, that's too bad.
It is sad, yeah.
Yeah, because really, I mean, this is great. The Prowler is good.
He's good, yeah. They're both well directed. Like, it's not his fault that the Prowler story is a little...
It's just kind of boring.
Convoluted and boring,
yeah.
But yeah, he did a great job. So, I kind of want to see Joe Zito's Spider-Man with Prof Ock and Wiener, the killer of Uncle Ben.
What if there was a double feature in an alternate universe where you could watch that and the ill-fated Superman Tim Burton movie?
Oh man, I would love to see Tim Burton's Superman with Nicolas Cage as Superman.
It sounded just
insane,
fucking silly. Yeah. Just super silly and stupid. You've seen like the behind the scenes like shots.
Yeah, and I've heard Kevin Smith talk about being brought in.
Those stories
are
awesome.
Yeah,
those stories are amazing.
They really wanted to put that mechanical spider in there, no matter what.
That was the thing. Somewhere in an alternate universe, those movies happened,
and then like nobody watched another comic book movie because they were like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, exactly right. Oh, P.S. This is neither here nor there, but I heard a rumor that Marvel is considering a Moon Knight movie.
I also heard a rumor that Keanu Reeves is going to be in the MCU.
As what?
Maybe Moon Knight.
No way.
I hope not, though. He's way better than... he could be something completely different. I think more like Adam Warlock or something would work for him, because Adam Warlock is somewhat Keanu. Moon Knight has to be a little insane.
Yeah, exactly. It has to be a little surreal and strange.
Yeah, Moon Knight's I'm excited for that though. I think though that would have been better if they had brought Moon Knight in for like the Defenders and the Jessica Jones,
the kind of lower tier stuff.
Yeah, because he's not like a big name.
Yeah, he's more street level.
Yeah, and people do call him rip off Batman, though he's
not.
Yeah, they just both happen to be rich.
Yeah. I was gonna say. I mean, honestly, like. Iron Man is more rip-off Batman.
Iron Man is much more Batman than, for sure. Mark Spector is no Bruce Wayne.
I always thought the Moon Knight costume was sick.
So cool, yeah.
So cool, man. Now, of course, the real star of this movie is Jason.
Yeah,
by this point, Jason had gotten his
story
mask,
of this movie.
The A story, yeah. He really is. He had gotten his hockey mask, the iconic mask in 3. Before that, we had him in the old tater sack.
Yeah,
kind of look, and of course in 1 he's not really in it at all.
We see some cops doing some just horrendous police work, just grabbing the axe, putting it in a bag not big enough for it. Jesus,
incompetence. Our tax dollars at work, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
Come on. And Jason in this is played by a new feller.
Yeah, Ted White, who is awesome.
Listen, I seriously think this is my favorite Jason.
Really?
I really
Even
do.
better than Kane Hodder.
I do. I think
so.
There is something about the way...
He's really great. I'm not finding that outrageous. It's just you don't hear that often. Kane Hodder's usually everybody's favorite.
He's kind of the go-to
Ted
guy.
White is so fucking good.
I mean, it probably helps that he's in this one, and this is my favorite of the entire franchise.
Yeah.
It probably helps, but just... I'll say this, even from an impartial viewer, like whenever I watched this the other night for this show, Kate was watching it with me, and she had never seen it before.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And she's not really a fan of the 13th movie. She's not really much of a fan of slashers in general, honestly.
I get that. They're not really
there's nothing to them.
Woman-friendly, most of them, I would say, honestly.
Yeah, there's that too. But, even she was like, this movie isn't doing much for me, but he is terrifying. Yeah. As Jason. She's like, he is the way he truly moves. Menacing.
And like everything is so physical. Like a lot of the kills forceful. In other movies are like he finds an implement, but a lot of this is like him slamming people into shit and pulling people out of windows and stuff. It's very
visceral.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even like the way that he chose to walk and stuff like this.
He moves faster than other Jasons have.
Yeah. But it's not like crazy Running Man fast. It's like purposeful, like I need to kill this person. Focus fast.
I have a theory. I want to get into this, and this is a headcanon thing because as we know, the Jasons just changed. They were different actors, so they all acted differently. But for me, it seems that Jason in Part 2 is more aware of his mortality.
Oh, he's way more human. He's scared of that chainsaw.
He's scared of the chainsaw. Yeah. Part 3, he seems more driven. And then in Part 4, I noticed this. Almost all of his kills are stealth kills, meaning no one sees him coming and no one else sees it happen.
It's true.
He sneaks into that guy's tent and breaks his gun. Jason would just kill him, you would think, in other movies.
It's like forethought.
But in this, he's thinking like, if he pulls that gun, he can kill me. I just like barely escaped an axe wound to the head. Like I got to prevent him from killing me. So he's well aware of his mortality in this, and he is moving with more purpose, and he has more of a plan as he does it.
Right.
And then this one is the one where he does actually die. Like the end of this is the end of his mortality because
this hasn't hit zombie Jason undead.
Yeah, because like some people
yet.
think of him as like undead in this. I think you get an axe to the frontal lobe like that. People for some reason think that murders you.
I mean, people shoot themselves in the head and don't die.
Yeah, people like Phineas Gage had a goddamn rail running through his head.
Right.
They just removed it. I mean, slightly changed his personality, though some of that is debatable. So, like, he's not dead. There's no reason to believe he's dead and then risen from the dead here, because he breathes. The undead don't have to breathe.
Yeah,
that's the first indication he's alive is as they're about to close the door on the
locker,
the freezer that he's in. You see his breath come up. So he's breathing. He's still aware of his mortality. He's working in the shadows and stuff. And then this movie is the one where he actually dies, and then he's not in 5. And then 6, he's brought back by a lightning bolt to the chest, and he's like rotten flesh and stuff. But
that's a good point, actually.
Yeah. In this one, we see his face, and he's not rotten.
No, he's not all.
He just looks like he did in the first one.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting. I hadn't really thought about it that way, but that does make sense. I mean, it's like, after he's fucking brought back Frankenstein style by lightning bolt, then he's this undead, immortal.
Right, and he's got weird, crazy powers and stuff,
Right. Yeah, because at the end of 3, he got hit in the head with the axe and stuff, right?
Yeah. And it's not that deep. It's stuck in his skull, which, of course, looks brutal, but that's not enough to kill you.
Right.
It might affect your ability to see or your speech area or something, but it's
he don't talk anyway, so
he doesn't talk anyway.
He's a strong silent
they hit
type.
that Brokaw's area.
Is that the
Brokaw's area? Thing? I believe that has to do with speech.
The Hanka's area.
Oh, Hanka's area.
Yeah, that's
right. He does all those voices in the bird cage.
Right. Well, that would make sense. The Hanka's area is where all the voices are. The verbal part. Yeah, so yes, it does make sense.
If the Brokaw's area, I'm pretty sure it deals with speech, may deal with hearing, not positive, but if it does deal with speech, they should change it to the Hanka's area.
And that makes sense too. With one of the other things that I was going to say I really like about this movie is how they don't go through any effort to explain how he was resurrected.
Yeah, because they don't have to.
Yeah, exactly. Because he didn't die.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, in all the Freddy movies, there's always like, well, how did they bring him back?
Right.
And in the next movie, well, how did they bring him back?
Other than Rennie Harlan's A Dog Pissing Fire, none of them make as much sense.
No, none of them are really...
A dog pissing fire, though.
Yeah, it's like,
Rennie Harlan's best idea ever.
It really is. Yeah. Because honestly, at the end of the day, like we said in our episode a month or so ago, it's like, it doesn't matter
how you bring him back.
You just want to know that Freddy's back, because that's who you want to see in this
And
flick.
that's why 6 is so good. Friday the 13th Part 6 is so good, because they bring him back in a Frankenstein fashion. It's just so comical and crazy.
Over the top.
Yeah. And they had just said, I think did they say at the end of this one, or is it in 5, that he was cremated?
Oh yeah, and one of them they do say that he was.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So it's just like, we were lying about that, but it doesn't matter.
Who cares? Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, so that makes sense. That definitely does make sense. But yeah, I just love how intimidating and physical and aggressive the Jason in this movie is.
This movie in general starts out aggressive. I mean, aside from the 2.5 minutes of this is what happened in all the other movies. It starts with the title screen of the mask that then fucking explodes.
Yeah. I love it. It's so
Final
stupid.
Chapter. It is so dumb.
Yeah.
The best dumb one, of course, is 6 with the James Bond.
Yeah.
But this one is fucking, because like 3 was the one where it smashed through the glass, right?
I think
and
so.
that was already
3D,
like that's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just raise the stakes, fucking make it explode.
Maybe the logo was full of gasoline and C4.
It just starts off so like boom, and then like I was saying this when we were talking earlier. This has like action movie beats to it. It starts out like after the
events
previously
of the last
on.
one. Yeah.
It starts out with a helicopter overhead. We're in the middle of action. This is the exact ending. Like right at the end of Part 3,
right,
middle of action, he gets taken to the hospital, comes back to his senses, and then it's just like bam, 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 like action.
It's very like Lethal Weapon-y.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's out for revenge.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Like he's like, I'm gonna go back to that motherfucking place and kill everybody.
Mm-hmm. And there's even like a chase sequence and stuff.
Yeah, there's a chase. The last 20 minutes are him chasing around our main girl, Trish. Yes, our final girl, who I didn't expect to be our final girl. I expected Sarah.
Yeah, the virginal one,
who they kept indicating her virginality, which is like
horror movie trope.
Yeah, the Scream definition of a final girl. But this is a reminder here that that's not necessarily it. Trish is our girl. We don't ever get a virginal feeling off of her. She pursues a man specifically, like she's aggressively pursuing.
The girls go after the dudes in this movie. They really do.
They really do. It is an aggressive movie with a lot of like. It also has good stunts in it, which you don't see.
Hell yeah!
Like you always see good kills, but one of the Doublemint twins being pulled through the window and landing on that car and the windows blowing out.
I love that so cool shot, dude. And this movie just in general blew so much money on the glass budget.
Yeah. They break so much
everything
glass.
Goes through
Fuck
windows
glass,
in here. Fuck glass, dude. Everything in this movie. I kept a tally of it. Yeah. There were 5 or 6 different things that fly through windows in this movie.
Including Jason himself.
A corpse.
A dog.
A bunch of people. A dog. More on that dog later.
Yeah, more on that dog later.
We'll talk about Gordon later. But dude, so many things get thrown through windows in this movie. I love it.
And Jason kicks down 2 different doors. Oh, the shower door.
Yeah.
Man, everything's just getting broken, kicked down. It is real, just aggressive and destructive.
Made to really stress out contractors, I think.
Or actually, probably to make them be like, all right.
Yeah, I got another job to do right here. That door was hung like shit, you could tell. That's my contractor voice. I'm not really sure why.
That's a good contractor voice.
You know?
That door's hung like shit, you can tell.
The thing is later on, whenever that guy goes home after a hard day's job, he becomes Baja Jacket. Stoner guy, man, 420.
Hey, buddy, when I'm at work, I'm all work. When I'm off work, it's all party.
It's party zone, dude. Baja Jacket. I can't remember what episode Baja Jacket Guy appeared on.
It may have been Mother. I think Lindsay was here.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Or it may have been the episode before.
It might have been that one.
Anyway, so this movie's full of good stunts, also full of great kills. We've already talked about the machete kill, but there's so many other good ones.
Oh my god, dude. So the first kill, well, not the first kill, but the first kill that I think of when I think of this movie is that completely pointless hitchhiker kill.
Yeah, I have a problem with that one, actually.
Why does that happen?
I think it helps set up that Ted's kind of a dickhole, but actually the thing is that Ted's character is hard to nail down because Ted and Crispin Glover, when they're together, were improvising almost everything they were saying.
Apparently.
Because they worked so well together.
That's awesome.
It is awesome. And Crispin Glover comes off as super hilarious straight man. Like his ability to be not only a straight man that's like, say, what do you mean? But a straight man who's like, I'm not sure about that, Ted. Dude, like he's just so like...
Crispin Glover's character in this has this weird thing of like, he was playing a guy who was trying to be serious but was accidentally being funny in a horror movie that he didn't know he was in.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like there were a lot of layers to why he acted the way he did.
I think it's all intentional. The man...
I do too. Like, I think it's all intentional.
I mean, his dad was an actor. His mom was a singer, I think, or a dancer. And he grew up in L.A. Like... He knew what he was doing.
The guy born to be weird.
Born to be weird, yeah, and nailing it.
Fuck yeah! Like, well, and the impression I get about that guy too is like he is not in it for money or fame or chicks
no, he
or
doesn't
whatever.
have to be. Yeah.
Like he just kind of does whatever the fuck he wants to, and usually what he wants to do is weird ass shit.
Yeah. And it's great.
Yes, and he's better for it.
He's really great, of course, in Back to the Future. He's really great in People vs. Larry Flint, Willard. Yeah. He was great in Charlie's Angels. He's weird as hell in Charlie's Angels.
I loved him as, is it Mr. World in American Gods?
Right.
He was fucking awesome. So great. He was perfect in that, dude. He's great. Very underrated.
He and Ted, Lawrence Monason, who... actually, a ton of these kids didn't have much like experience when they came into this, but have all been working since. Basically, like very few of them sort of dropped off. Every one of them been consistently working. Lawrence Monason is in a ton of stuff. So Lawrence Monason, like he's Ted. When he's with Crispin Glover, is funny and charming, but then other moments, I guess the scripted moments, he's a dick.
He is kind of a piece of shit in this movie.
Yeah, like he's being a dick to this hitchhiker. He calls her, what does he call her?
I think he calls her like he says, I think he like barks like a dog at her.
Woof. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like saying she's ugly.
I think she says something about her being fat or something.
Right.
Too.
I don't get the joke of this scene. Joe Zito said it was supposed to be a funny scene, but I don't get the joke of this scene. She's a chubby hippie in the mid 80s who wants to go to Canada. Why?
I'm not sure.
She's not evading...
Dodging a draft.
Yeah, she wouldn't be dodging a draft anyway.
Right.
I don't get what the joke's supposed to be, but I think it was... I mean, definitively, I feel like it was probably Tom Savini had an idea for a kill and they just couldn't fit it in anywhere else. And he was like, well, we'll do a second unit, we'll shoot it. And then like they were like, yeah, that looks good. Let's throw in a moment with... Because I think everything Ted says is like ADR.
I think it was just more or less basically there to show us that Jason is on the trail of these kids. He's going to where they're going, and also nobody is safe.
Yeah, that's true. Because she did nothing. That's the best way I can
rationalize
that is actually good because the people he kills in the hospital, you can be like, oh, well, they were. I don't know what negative thing
they were fornicating or trying.
That guy was watching what might be alien porn where three women point their butts at each other and move up and down.
I want to see that video dubbed with farts just all over it. Like, did you ever see that what was that Anaconda video by
Nicki Minaj?
Yeah,
with the farts.
Dubbed with farts. It's the greatest video
it really is. It's
probably
really funny.
of all time. Did I send you the Game of Thrones fart video?
No.
Oh my god!
Well,
I gotta
send it to you.
Oh, it's the best, dude. It's the scene where like John is going to talk to Daenerys and she's sitting on the throne and stuff.
Oh man. Oh yes, I've seen that.
It's punctuated by farts all over the place.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Farts are funny.
Farts are real fun.
I don't know why, but they're so funny.
No, they are. I think that's a good point though, because like I guess you could say the first two people would be killed for having sex on the job.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he died because people were fucking around, and that's how he drowned. So
right. Yeah.
I could go with that one.
But then she did literally nothing.
Yeah, and
he
also
just dislikes hitchhikers.
It's so unfair. She's having a banana. That's a healthy snack.
That is a healthy snack. You know what? What a dick. She was trying to turn her life around.
She was trying to get her
She was going to go to
on.
Canada for the health care.
Right, yeah.
And she was
trying to eat better.
She was trying to eat better. Just trying to get a ride
Hitching
to
a
Canada.
ride, trying to save gas.
Man, she was a good person.
Yeah, I know. Jason didn't give a fuck.
He didn't. That kill does look really great.
Dude, it's awesome. It's awesome. The knife goes like straight through her neck.
Yeah.
The way she's got all that banana mush.
Yeah.
Like
the way
coming out of her mouth, and then she squeezes it and stuff.
Yeah, this looks really good.
It's so good, and at the same time so silly, because you're like, this is wholly unnecessary. She didn't even talk.
She didn't do anything. Yeah, she didn't say a word. Yeah. Savini was Jason in that. He was,
oh, really?
Yeah, he was the guy. And that was a real knife he was holding.
Oh.
So all of the part up to the point where you see penetration is him with a real knife behind her. Savini did that also in one. He did that all the time. He wanted it to look real.
He did that in Maniac. He's the guy that shot his own self in the movie.
Yes.
Which is awesome. Savini fucking rules.
He's the best, man.
He is awesome. So that's one of the first kills in here. Of course, that's preceded by the people in the morgue that get killed.
We get the bone saw to the neck.
Bonesaw was ready. Bonesaw was indeed ready.
Bonesaw's ready. Wait. Did you know he injured his... more Spider-Man and Randy Savage talk.
Tell me.
He injured his neck in that movie. If you go back and watch it, you see him land directly on his head in one of the stunts.
Really?
And he injured his neck for the rest of his life. Couldn't turn his neck. Crazy.
Wait. Macho Man?
Macho Man, yeah.
Holy shit.
Fucking crazy.
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P.
That bonesaw getting drug across the throat, for one, is like ultimate nightmare. We've talked about our Adam's apple aversions that we have. Man, it's so bad. Like, and then he turns his head around.
A bonesaw would have a serrated edge, too, so
serrated.
It wouldn't be like slick. It would be like...
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is like the way that he plays that, it looks like he is really forcing that thing through the neck. Like it doesn't look like it's like a smooth glide.
Now, the fun thing about that, because like again, when I like watching the documentary and seeing like they had a saw that had like a
little cutout
for the neck, and knowing that he actually didn't move the saw at all.
It's really strange because in my memory, I'm like,
I know
seeing
in your memory you see him just like slid it, but it's just a real brief second, and not like in reality, just basically he turned his head.
Yeah, I mean
it looks so effective,
incredible editing. Yeah, and apparently for that scene where they like turned his head around, he had like an application on his neck of that kind of wrinkled up flesh, and they just put his clothes on backwards. And had him turn his head.
Genius.
And that's it.
Genius.
Yeah.
You don't need to bring the computers in.
No.
Yeah.
And that, again, shows the genius of Savini, where it's like, with Savini, whenever you watch interviews and stuff with him, you can tell that not only did he have an idea of, okay, the tubing should be running here, the person's head should come through a false floor and do this.
Yeah.
But he also has in mind, and it should be shot this way.
Yeah. He knows exactly, like the lighting and stuff. He knows what needs to happen to make it look exactly... in a brief glimpse in the dark, looks real.
Right.
And that's all you need. You don't need it to look real for 30 seconds.
That would be impossible.
Real for just a brief moment.
Well, and it's close-up magic, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
It's like close-up magic.
Misdirection,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like if I had to palm this coin for half an hour, you'd see it, but it just lasts a few seconds, so you don't.
Yeah.
He really has just such a great idea of not only how it should be technically executed, but physically shot, and I think that's what really sets
special
him apart.
effects god Tom Savini.
And then that nurse chick gets like, she just zipped up her shirt, and then Jason zips the knife up her torso.
Man,
it's so
brutal.
sick, and the
Lifts
blood
her
like
up
hits
off
the floor.
ground, like head against the wall.
Yeah,
that is
super
just brutal.
super physical. I love the head crush in the shower.
Man,
dude, it's brutal.
Yeah,
and I love too how like they've shown that Jason's like hands are so grisly and huge and have those gross black like witch nails. Oh, it's so gross, and he just smashes that dude's head against the back of the shower. It's so brutal.
The brutality is so high in this for a movie that is fun.
I just wonder between this and The Prowler, is it Zito or is it Savini that loves people dying in showers? You know? Because there's shower kills in both of them.
I mean, it comes from Hitchcock, of course. The vulnerability of being in the shower.
Yeah.
Just like you're completely naked. Not only are you completely naked, you can't exactly run.
Yeah,
you
you're
might
very vulnerable.
fall.
Right.
Yeah, it's a vulnerable moment.
Right.
Yeah.
That shower kill is awesome. And then his like head's on the glass and stuff. His neck's on it. It's so gross. Yeah, the chick getting thrown through the window is one of my highlights of this movie. She's kind of pulled through the window.
Yeah, just pulled through the window. He's pulling an Assassin's Creed assassination. He's climbed up the wall, pulls her out the window, throws her down.
Solid snake in that shit.
Solid snake in it, yeah. And yeah, the windows blowing out really made it perfect.
Again, more fuck glass.
Yeah. They hate glass.
They hate glass. They're not all about it in this movie. I love Crispin Glover's death, dude.
It's perfect. Like, because he's looking for the corkscrew. Ted, where's the corkscrew? I love the way
Where's
he
the
delivers.
fancy corkscrew for the wine bottle?
He's saying it. It's like they've been married for 25 years.
Yeah, it's like somebody's annoying aunt from upstate New York.
I love that he decided to do it. Because he
Again,
knew he could do whatever
it.
he wanted in this movie and be fine.
Right.
And he made it fun, at least.
And also just wasn't expecting him to die.
No.
And maybe because it's in my head, it's like Crispin Glover. It's an actor
but
I've
at the
known
time,
my whole
it's like,
life.
nobody knows
Yeah, at the
Crispin
time he was
Glover,
a nobody.
Yeah.
But it's like me, it's like I, just as somebody who was born in the 80s, it's like I've known that guy's face my whole life. He's in fucking Back to the Future, you know?
He was the dad in Back to the Future. That's crazy to think of how young he was playing Michael J. Fox's dad.
My God. But then just to see him, you know, for one, that corkscrew just gets shoved through his hand brutally.
Yeah. And then
that machete.
I think it's a meat cleaver.
It's a meat cleaver. Yeah.
Like right through the face.
Straight to the face, dude. It is so brutal. It looks
and
like
then
that
he
thing is
hangs
being
him
swung.
up outside by his hand, like
railroad
Jason in
spikes
this
or
one,
something.
like shows off his kills when he can.
He Myers it a little bit, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he definitely does. Where it's like, I want you to see the museum of your dead friends.
Speaking of Myers, we have to mention the Halloween 2 connections here. Like,
surely,
this starts so much like Halloween 2.
It really does.
It goes right a completely different direction,
right?
But it really does take from Halloween 2 to just start right at the scene, move forward from there. You're starting in the middle of the action. You're reminding everybody of all the action they just saw from the last movie, and it gets them hyped. Like, it's a genius move. It's real smart to do. But this movie is so much better than Halloween 2 because
infinitely.
It leaves the hospital.
Yeah, it doesn't just fucking stay there the entire
It's so
time.
boring.
Oh my God. Yeah, I love that head chop. It looks like that cleaver is being swung with so much force.
Yeah.
But I think they actually shot it like in reverse, right?
Yeah, because the cleaver was cut out to be perfectly in that little area of his face.
Yeah.
So just pull it out.
Zipped it out and then showed the film in reverse.
Yeah.
God, dude, I love it. We got a guy getting stabbed in the dick. And
He
lifted up out
deserved
the
that.
water.
He deserved that. He has this gorgeous girlfriend.
Yeah.
And immediately one of the Doublemint twins takes his attention. What?
There's a lot of like girls hitting on guys in front of their girlfriends and guys dancing with girls in front of their girlfriends.
Everyone's real aggressive. I wonder if they were... Sleepaway Camp came out the year before this. I wonder if they were taking some of that aggression from Sleepaway Camp and putting it in
I don't
here.
know. I had a real hard time kind of keeping up with like who's with who here.
Right, because everybody just sort of moves around. And then that guy who's with Sarah, I forget he's in the movie until he gets killed.
Yeah.
Like, he's the one who's driving at the beginning, but he doesn't ever really say anything. And
no.
Then, he's got no personality. But everybody else, though, you don't know who they're fucking.
Right. That girl who is kind of our sweet, innocent one gets
Sarah,
destroyed by that axe.
Yeah. Unexpected, really. Ooh. I mean, I get that she had sex, which is like the Scream rule. Now she can get killed. But that wasn't a rule at this point. She seemed like she was going to be the final girl. They set it up very much like, I've never had sex, blah, blah, blah. But that actually only works in reverse. At the time when that happened, it wasn't setting up a false expectation, because we've talked about the previous Friday the 13th, and having sex doesn't get you killed, doing drugs doesn't get you killed. So this is the introduction of that, basically.
That's true. Yeah, 4 parts into the series.
It's that she was fine until she had sex, and she gets killed.
Right on.
Yeah.
What do you think about, I think it's Rob that's down there in the basement. He's killing me!
I think that's I get why people think that it's real campy, but I think it's effective, because if you were being killed and trying to save someone else, like, what would you say? Yeah, you'd probably say something fucking crazy like,
yeah,
I'm being stabbed,
yeah. I'm shot. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I think it's awesome.
By the way, I've been cut in the throat.
Oh yeah,
you know what you do? You basically say, what just happened?
Right.
Yeah.
It's not all that unrealistic.
Cut. That's what I said. I got cut.
That was it?
Yeah. I didn't say he's killing me, but I should have.
I hope I have the presence of mind.
Say something fun. If I'm
ever being like, maybe at least it'll give the murderer like a little pause, and they're like, "I'm sorry, are you telegraphing what I'm doing to you?" And then I'll get away or something.
Yeah, he'll be like, "This is, you know what? You're being weird about this.
Yeah, this is getting a little strange.
Awkward," he says, and walks away.
Right? Yeah,
like
he's done with
you're
it after
the
that.
asshole.
Right? Hey, man. God, sorry, I didn't mean to weird you out. No, don't come back. No. Oh, he's coming back to kill me some more.
No, I'm done.
Real turn off.
You're weirdo.
Real turn off. I love that he's killing me death.
Yeah.
Dude, one of the most brutal things in the movie for me is whenever Homegirl cuts Jason's hand down the middle.
That looks great.
Oh, fuck, that is brutal.
And that's like, I mean, because like the other things that we've seen happen to Jason up to this point are like, you know, aside from axe in the skull,
they're not like fatal injuries, not like minor injuries, like human injuries.
This is a human injury.
Right.
It's like, oh, right, he's just he's just flesh,
right?
So he could be cut to pieces, which seems like Tommy kind of tried to do, but he's an 11-year-old boy, probably didn't succeed at actually cutting him into pieces. But that moment reminds us, like, oh, right, he's vulnerable,
right? Yeah. That shot though is so convincing looking. When that thing just goes straight down the middle of his hand,
and I imagine it's just a broomstick with the hand.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely so. But it's cool detail and stuff too, though, because if you'll notice, Jason quits fighting with that hand.
Oh, I didn't pay attention to that. But
it's just like clever physical acting. It's like, okay, that's out of commission now.
Ted White was and remained after this a stunt coordinator, so like he had the eyes for the details for stunts. And so to be the one acting it out, like, of course he's going to remember, like, no, that hand, I can't use that.
It's out of commission now. I mean, he'd worked on, like, big westerns, like John Wayne and all kinds of shit. I mean, from what it sounds like he was probably a bit of a hard ass. It also sounds like Corey Feldman was also an 11-year-old kid who became a movie star, which pretty much any of us would probably be little shithead brats.
Oh, of course.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Well, and they said in the documentary that he wanted to hang out with everybody. Of course he did.
Yeah, well, especially when you're like that age, it's like all you want to do is hang out with older kids.
Yeah. So he wanted to be a part of all this stuff, and he wanted to hang out with the adults. And Ted White also intentionally kept himself away from everyone else. And so Corey Feldman's insistence on interacting with him, of course, pisses him off because it gets him out of his mindset, but also he doesn't want to deal with this fucking kid.
No.
I'm just trying to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So legit hate in some sense. Not legit hate. You can't legit hate. Well, I guess you can legit hate a kid. But he was especially irritated by him. Mm-hmm. So he liked scaring him.
And Feldman was legitimately terrified.
No, terrified of him. When he was grabbed through the window, that really scared him. And when Ted White kicked down the door and came in, like Corey Feldman was really affected by that. Like, he was very scared.
Wow.
They really had to calm him down because, like, Ted White, he did the same with the window death where he pulled them out, where he didn't want them to know it was coming.
Wanted some legit shock on screen.
So there'd be like an action call, but then anticipation and waiting and real fear.
Well, that was
then it would happen.
That was even cool timing just as a viewer for that thing there towards the end where Rob's corpse gets like hurled through that window.
Again, showing off his kill. Like, look what I did.
Yeah.
But also, great timing.
And then kind of the last thing you expect is another person, Jason, to bust through another window.
Right.
It's kind of like the last thing you expect just as a viewer.
Yeah.
And then just knowing that the shock that you have on Feldman's face is real, because he was also not sure when it was going to happen and stuff. Makes it so much better, man. It's so good.
Yeah.
One of my favorite kills in here, too, that's not even like a big deal, is that little flash of a silhouette where Jason is like stabbing, I think it's one of the girls out in the yard, and there's like the lightning behind him. and you just see the silhouette projected onto the side of the house of him like impaling somebody. And I don't think that's long after the raft kill.
No, yeah, because the raft kill happens and then he goes out to check on his girlfriend finally.
That's the guy that gets stabbed in the dick.
Yeah, and deservedly so.
Yeah, the old dick
I think
stab.
Jason saw what was happening. I think he was watching through the window and he's like, hey, you're that's your
cool,
girlfriend.
Man. Not cool.
Who's this girl?
That raft kill
I'm
is
going to
sick.
stab that guy in the dick.
Yeah.
I'm also going to kill his girlfriend, but I'm going to stab that guy.
Beside the point.
Yeah.
That raft kill is sick.
It
man.
is sick.
She's out there floating around, apparently getting hypothermia.
Yeah, because her body was in the water, and then the fake body was in the raft.
Which was extremely convincing looking.
Yeah, but they were also shooting in the dead of winter.
Yeah.
And the guy who played Ted, or not Ted, the guy who played the hitchhiker guy who ends up sleeping in the tent, whatever his name was,
Yeah,
Rob. That's him.
The Van Helsing of the movie.
Van Helsing, yeah. He was talking about how, like, you know, when they come walking out and it's supposed to be raining, like the water had been sitting out, so it was like 35 degree water being sprayed on them in 30 degree weather.
That's a recipe for pneumonia.
Yeah.
Damn,
so
dude.
It was a rough shoot, but she was actually underwater waiting for them to shoot this over and over and over. And
for hours.
Ted White had to stop it. And be like, no, she's like legit needs to get out of the water. And
yeah, he said like, if you guys don't get her out of there, I'm walking off set. There's some other angles that they did of that raft scene that I wish they could have used. I think that it was probably getting whittled away due to blood and gore and nudity. But there's some like above the scene shots.
Oh yeah, where you can see
camera.
it so much clearer.
Yeah, and you can see that like the raft is filling up with blood, which is way badass. I think they probably cut it so you can see your butt and stuff.
Right.
But I loved seeing the raft just fill up with the blood. It was so cool, man.
Ted White said something. I keep talking about him, but like I think he's probably one of the most interesting people involved with this.
Yeah.
He said about chasing girls around that it really, like, he really enjoyed chasing screaming girls. And that sounds real fucking
serial
creepy.
Killery, yeah.
But it's also like, well, that makes him perfect for this, doesn't it? Like,
yeah, it's true.
I mean, it sounds weird, but it's also like, well, if he enjoys it and he's not killing anyone in reality, it's cool
kind of
that
the
he's
perfect Jason.
It's cool that he's playing Jason because he can really get into it, and he does.
Now, you were talking to me about how one of the things you like about this is that there's an A and B storyline in this. There's not just
that's
a
not
linear
really
A
a thing
line.
you see much in the Friday the 13th movies. Is that they actually attempt to create storylines with arcs and completions, and that they have like legit foreshadowing, not just Crazy Ralph saying it's got a death curse. That's not foreshadowing. That's just telling you what's going to happen. But like, we have a moment where the mom says like, close the door. What if a maniac gets in? And that's like early on, and we know like
a maniac is going to get in.
A maniac is going to get in, but we also know we've all had our moms say crazy shit like that, where it's like, maniac's not going to get in, mom.
You know another little funny part of foreshadowing that the mom does?
What's that?
Early in the movie, she tells Corey Feldman something about him needing a haircut.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And then he cuts his... Oh, wow. I didn't know... Yeah, that's all in the same scene.
Yeah.
That's all the first scene where we're introduced to that family. Like, we learn everything about Corey Feldman just because he's wearing that mask and playing video games. We know he's basically... He's the tech wizard of the
he's the nerd.
Movie. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's just so very effective in ways that other Friday the 13th movies don't even try, where they're just like, well, we're telling a horror story. This is a movie that's telling a story. And the A story seems to be Jason Voorhees wants revenge on kids and everyone else anywhere in the vicinity of Crystal Lake. And the B story is about this family that is just staying out at the lake. The mom and the dad are divorced, so the dad's gone. She's there with her daughter and her son. There's this nurturing family relationship, and then it's intruded upon by these teenagers who happen to also bring in Jason, who follows them there, I assume. And then the chaos kicks off. But all throughout this other story of the families going on, we lose the mom, and then the sister's taking care of the brother, and then the last 20 minutes are the sister, the brother, and Jason. That's the A story and B story colliding.
Right. Yeah.
Coming together.
Yeah.
It's so well constructed. I think it's a well constructed
it's simple,
film in this
but
series.
it's tight.
Oh, very simple. It doesn't have to be complicated, but so many of the others don't even try that. They're just like,
kids are somewhere, Jason's there, they die.
Yeah.
And that's
So this
kind
one
of
at least tried to add in some heart in some way, like add something to it where we actually care. We care about the family. We do care about them.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're a very believable like family unit, especially considering in most horror movies, like, you know, mom is an alcoholic and dad's abusive, and that's kind of like the Elm Street kind of family model. But in this, that parents are shitty.
Yeah, in this, it's the mom cares, the sister cares, they all love each other. They seem to be having fun.
Everything's pretty okay over that way.
It's a poltergeist family setup,
right? Yeah, which makes it better.
Yes,
as
we see them as human and we care about them.
Right? Yeah, definitely. Now, I think it would have been better if the mom had telekinesis.
That's part 7.
Oh, that's 7.
And it's the daughter. Come on.
I will say, though, and this is like one of my few real critiques I have about this movie. I got to thinking about it, and I do think that mom character was kind of underutilized.
She was.
And I think
she kind of disappears real quick.
Yeah, she doesn't even get a proper death scene.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that in this franchise, especially up to here, if you think about it, there's never really parents. There's like kids, there's counselors, which are also kids. There's never really any adult authority figures other than Pam Voorhees.
Yeah, who was a murderer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like she's kind of the only one here that was a, you know, above 30-year-old person.
Right.
And like you said, she goes on a murder spree because her kid died, right?
Yeah.
So in this movie, they introduced this mother character who's a great actress. She's very good. Yeah. She's very believable. You just kind of naturally like her and her affinity for jogging. I think she must be suicidal.
It's pronounced yogging.
Oh, yogging?
Yeah, it's a soft J.
I think she's suicidal because obviously the newspapers are running articles about how Jason had been on a killing spree, and she's like, I should probably go jog. Yeah, let's go jog around the lake. I think she wanted out of the whole situation, if you ask me.
They were jogging also in a way that was like, this is like a cigarette ad from the 80s. Like they were about to stop and enjoy a Newport.
Yeah,
or
Virginia
something.
Slim.
Yeah.
God, Virginia Slims are like the ultimate stepmom smoke. You know, like every stepmom, they should have just called like Virginia Slims, the official smoke of stepmoms.
You've come a long way, baby, to become a stepmom.
To smoke a long, thin cigarette. You'll get a longer smoke break out of it, honey.
Thank goodness.
You know? Mm-hmm. But the mom in this, like I said, she was one of the first responsible adults that we had show up in the series. Mm-hmm. Plus, you have the whole mom connection with Jason.
Yeah.
Right? Like Jason love of his mama.
Yep, he does. He love of his mama.
So I think that there were a few potential things that could have gotten turned around in here. Right. I think that it could have been cool if, okay, we think the mom died, and then at the end, it's, you know, it's the mom that comes back and swings that machete.
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas like, you'd have this kind of cool arc where it's like Miss Voorhees couldn't save her kid, but here's a mom that is saving her kids from Miss Voorhees.
that is good. I like that.
Something like that could have worked.
And it would have made more sense if she came in as like the mom and that's what froze him. Like, because it doesn't make sense that he sees what looks like his younger self and he's like, wait, what?
It looks like a little bald kid with pneumonia.
Yeah, like it would have made more sense if she came in and did what happened in part 2. The Jason, this is your mother.
He gets all authoritative and stuff. Yeah, puts
like,
on the sweater.
That would have been a much better ending for sure. Because the ending of this isn't great.
Yeah, like the whole thing of him coming downstairs because he had seen this police mock-up sketch. Okay, the police mock-up sketch.
Yeah.
Of what Jason might have looked like.
That makes no sense.
This is one of those things where it gets really confusing because you're talking about a newspaper article about a child who was supposedly believed to be dead, drowned in a lake.
And the image would have to be based off of the dream of the girl from the first movie.
I mean, it's really confusing. Yeah. It's really strange. Yeah. And also, at this point, even though the police sketch is of, like, boy Jason, man Jason is on the prowl.
Yeah. How's that going to help?
Although, I will say, I respect the fact that they've never even tried to explain that.
Oh, no.
It doesn't matter. Who cares?
It doesn't. It really doesn't.
Yeah, Jason is back. He's killing people. Mm-hmm. He's back again. He's killing more people. That's kind of all you care about. And I think that they knew that. So they never tried to really explain their way out of that. But I had this idea that it would have been so fun if the police sketch of what they supposed Jason looked like would have been like wildly inaccurate. You know?
Yeah.
Like, what if the police sketch was of like a Rastafarian dude?
Yeah, that would make sense.
With like a floppy hat.
Yeah.
And like dreadlocks and stuff. So whenever Tommy goes up into the house to like make his final transformation,
he comes down and he's like, right near the beach, Jason. And Jason's just like, stab.
Yeah. Or like, you know, Jason and the sister like turn around and they're both like, what the fuck are you doing? Tommy,
that gives her enough time to kill Jason.
That is wildly inappropriate. He's like, what do you mean,
blackface, Tommy?
Yeah,
that's
come on. That's a little bit much.
Yeah.
It's 1984, and that is still way beyond the pale to do that. That's
Short Circuit had brown face.
It did.
Oh,
Holy
and
shit,
also that one movie about the kid who got into college with an African American scholarship. Soul Man. Yeah.
That happened, y'all.
It really did.
Whoa.
Doof, that movie.
Woo, man. But yeah, it would have been great if Tommy would have completely gotten the wrong idea of what young Jason would have looked like. Come down that staircase.
It would have been.
We would have had a little blooper moment down there.
Or if he'd just come down dressed as a female Jason, like he was Bugs Bunny. And he was like, ooh,
like
Jason.
A sexy Jason. Yeah. That's amazing. That would have been so good.
All right. One last thing we have to cover. We said we were going to talk about it.
Yeah.
The dog.
Okay, Gordon. Poor suicidal.
5 times they say his name. 5 times.
5 times. That poor suicidal dog, Gordon.
Oh, hey, Gordon, my dog, Gordon. It's you, Gordon. Hi, Gordon. I love you, Gordon.
Are you here, Gordon?
Gordon?
Okay, hang on.
And
First
then the dog just disappears.
That dog was suicidal.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a topic
he just
that
jumped
is not,
out a window.
It's not talked about enough this
Suicidal
day and age.
dogs.
I think that there's still kind of a prejudice against pet suicide.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, everybody's a little bit wary to talk about it. But I'll tell you this. Pet suicide happened at least once.
At least once. We've seen it on screen.
Friday the 13th part 4.
I honestly just kind of think that this dog just saw so many other people fly through windows. He was like,
fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck windows.
Yeah. I was like, maybe I give this a try. They make it look pretty fun. The man's always doing it.
It made no sense. But it was, I mean, it was funny, I guess. Like, why the fuck did that dog just jump out the window?
He just pieces out.
He does.
He's gone.
Like, I am done with this, okay? Guys, I've been trying to tell you.
The way that the dog is shown flying out the window in slow-mo, like it is like
it's a big
this
deal.
Big dramatic, like
he's
oh shit, Gordon!
Like it's then gonna cut to Jason like, oh fuck, and then the dog just attacks him. Nope, he's just jumping out a window.
Apparently some people seem to think that Jason threw him out the window. He did not. Like Jason
he just runs up to the window and jumps out.
Yeah, of his own free will.
It's weird.
He's like, y'all, this is getting kind of weird for me.
How do you train a dog to do that, I wonder?
I don't know. I think that dog wanted to kill itself because its owners named it Gordon.
That is a bad dog.
Like, that is just a weird name for your dog. Yeah. Sometimes people give their dogs like way overly ordinary names, and it's just strange. Hey, Robert.
Salem's name when we got her, the name that people had called her before us, was Sandy.
Sandy.
Like she just retired from working in an office.
Yeah. Let that woman relax. She's put in her years at that office.
Ben, what do you think about this damn movie? Tell me.
I love it. I fucking love this movie, dude. I think that it is such a great balance of comedy and horror. I think it already kind of knew that it was almost becoming a parody of what 80s slashers would become.
Yeah.
There's just so much ridiculous nudity and gore and unnecessary kills.
Yep.
And again, just pointless shit happening. That hitchhiker dying, the dog jumping out the window, never even had to happen.
Nope.
But it's there because it's cool.
It is cool.
It's almost like those things that are, I guess, perceived as like flaws of the genre, where it's like, that's just dumb. Why did that happen? That's impossible. That's stupid.
This movie's like, no, it's great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It just goes with it, you know? It's that thing that we've talked about where it's like, pixel art and vaporwave and all these things that are like impressions of the limitations of technology back then. Yes. The flaws of those things became the characteristics of that genre. Yeah. It's like nobody looks at pixel art and they're like, it doesn't look real at all.
That's just a bunch of blocks.
Yeah, that's not the point. Yeah. It's supposed to look that way. That's part of it. Yeah. The limitation is why it's there.
Yeah, this is a celebration of the genre.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It goes by fast. It's not a super long movie. It's not super slow.
No.
Again,
it's just constant action, honestly.
Yeah.
It just goes from action to action to action.
Awesome kills, awesome soundtrack. Ending is a bit nonsensical. I definitely couldn't have seen it working out that Tommy's mask making skills would come back to save them all. Again, I do think there is a better ending there where the mom saves the kids.
Let me tell you,
especially as a final chapter in the thing, that just would have been a better conclusion.
I'll tell you in a second Tom Savini's alternate ending. Keep going.
Yeah?
Yeah. Give me your final thoughts.
But overall, it's just an absolute joy for me to watch this. This is one of those ones that I don't think I'll ever really get tired of watching. It's kind of like the penultimate camp slasher.
It really is.
Yeah. I want to see teenagers that are goofy and funny and hot getting murdered in grisly ways. And this delivers on that. Soundtrack is great too.
It is.
Awesome soundtrack stuff in this.
Harry Manfredini killing it again.
Yeah, killing it. I fucking love this movie. Like, honestly, I think that the only gripes I can really put up about it are that, again, maybe the ending could have been different.
Yeah, it could have been different.
And maybe it would have made it better. Maybe. Yeah. But still, this is like a fucking 9.5 for me. It is damn near a 10.
Nailed it.
It's damn near a 10, dude. It's just a joy to watch. It's everything that I want in an 80s slasher movie.
I'm going to tell you real quick Tom Savini's idea for an ending.
Okay.
He wanted to have, because, Tommy is a tinkerer, he wanted to have Tommy be tinkering with a microwave.
Like you do.
And create this sort of rod that he could take and he would put it against an army man and turn it up to 1 and it would melt the army man.
Okay, yeah.
The idea was at the end then he would plunge it into Jason's skull and turn it up to 10 and explode Jason's head with microwaves.
All right.
That would have been amazing.
That would have been very okay.
I mean, obviously that would have been the end of the series. How are they going to reassemble his head? But anyway, movie, great.
Yeah.
I've been watching it now for, I don't know, 30 years almost.
Damn. You're in your third decade with this thing.
And every time I see it, I'm like, yes. It's it feels like coming home. Yeah. It really does. It feels like the comfort of a slasher is just wrapping you in its arms and saying, hey, buddy, let's kill some teenagers.
Right. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you kind of know, even the first time you watch this, you know where it's going.
Yeah. You know exactly what's going to happen.
And it's still a joy.
And it happens, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
I love this movie. So glad they got Tom Savini back for at least one more Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm. Special
if they
effects
ever
are so
do
good.
make a 13th Friday the 13th, they should get Tom Savini back and go all practical.
My God, please.
Yeah, they can get the guy who played Friday the 13th in the remake, Derek Mears, did a good job.
He's good.
Yeah, they could bring him back. Yeah,
that remake is really shitty.
I didn't like it, but he's good.
But he's actually very, very good. I would be
and
very
Kane Hodder
okay.
still exists in case they want to do that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. But I would be happy seeing Derek be him again in a Savini produced movie.
Me too.
Oh my God, let Savini fucking direct it, man.
We still haven't dealt with any Savini directed movies. We need to do that Night of the Living Dead remake.
The remake that he did, we do.
Yeah, I hear it's great. I haven't ever watched it.
I haven't either.
All right.
It's a deal. It's a date, babe.
It's a date. I love this movie. 9.5. Yeah, sounds good to me.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it's a little less than perfect, but just the nostalgia factor. I'll admit that I could see if somebody said no, this isn't a good movie. I'd be like, all right, you probably have reasons. But I've been watching this movie most of my life, and I love it.
I can tell you, as somebody who's out of the cloud of nostalgia, I saw this movie for the first time in my 30s. Yeah. No, it is as good as you're saying.
It's awesome.
Yeah. It's fucking a treat. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as we do, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed listening to this episode of Darb and Lurbly. Be sure to rate and review on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts and stuff. iTunes is apparently going away. Apple is yanking
they're
iTunes,
separating everything into like music, like it is on your phone basically, where you have music, podcasts, etc.
Right.
And the iTunes just won't exist anymore.
So be sure to rate us on iCast or whatever it's called now,
or Spotify or wherever, Podbean.
Yeah.
Check us out wherever you can find us. Just rate us.
Yeah, definitely do it. And if you're listening on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. You guys can follow us on all the usual social media pages. Tell them about it.
At Dead Lovely Pod on Twitter and Instagram.
Yes.
Dead and Lovely Horror Movie Podcast group on Facebook.
Yes.
We have a Discord server. You can email me for the link to that. We've also posted it before.
Yes.
Discord server now has Patreon exclusive channel that we'll be checking in on from time to time. And patreon.com/deadandlovely. Go over there, send us some money, help us make this podcast even bigger than it already is.
Every time that we sign on and we see new people are supporting us, we go, they're helping us. They're helping us.
He's helping me. That's what I say.
Oh, God, he's helping me.
When I see Tim Stone give us some money, I say, oh, God, he's helping me. Run.
Well, you guys have just been a treat. Be sure to tune in next week. We're going to be talking about a movie that I will be watching for the very first time. I've never seen this movie.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
I'm so excited to talk about Child's Play 2.
Yeah.
I love the first one. We did a review on the first one a little while back, and how it's just this huge take on commercialism and the family unit of the 80s and stuff. That's a good episode. Be sure to listen to that one.
Yeah, and as far as I remember, part 2 is just more of the same. Hopefully it holds up as it does in my mind.
I've heard it gets way more crazy and over the top, and there's shit in like a toy factory.
Oh yeah, and definitely we know that it's going to get way more over the top because eventually he's going to get married to another doll and have another doll baby.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's going to get weird. It's going to get weird.
Anyway,
so be sure to tune in next week when we're going to be talking about Child's Play 2. It's going to be a good old time. Well, in the meantime, you guys have been just goddamn fantastic, and we've been dead and lovely. It was so beautiful to have you with us today. Dead and lovely.
Bye.
Bye. I really just wanting an album now where Michael McDonald sings every song.
Yeah.
She's my cherry pie.
He has to, but he's got to make it like he wouldn't do the "She's my cherry pie." She's my cherry pie.
It had a bigger chords.
Yeah, bigger chords,
deeper harmony and stuff.
She's my cherry pie.
What if he did
yo 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 yo?
Got you all in jail, Michael McDonald.
Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks.
It ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. I don't know how he would do.
Little one, don't forget my son.
Actually, James Hetfield is basically Michael McDonald.
Kind of the Metal McDonald.
Metal McDonald, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it goes.
Bo!
Yeah. Auschwitz, the meaning of pain, the way I want you to die.
Little Slayer action.
Angel of death.
I love Metal McDonald.
Yeah, that needs to be a thing. Trademark Dead and Lovely. We're snagging that. If it's not already a thing, it's a thing now.
Yep.
Metal McDonald.
It is thing.